have gone to have posted his linkle. Oh, he's here.
Hello.
Hello.
I've hit a couple buttons and now it's Fiesta time.
I'm on run 2 because I
Ah.
glitched X death.
Wendigo is dead.
Nice.
Good work.
Finally.
Oh god, Wendigo.
Or at least he's in the process of dying.
Oh right, Wendigo's also slow to die.
He's got the die of the mini deaths.
So what's when you glitch X death, how do you do it?
With Cannoneer, you just have to make sure to kill him with a combine called Chaos Shot or Chaos Cannon. And for whatever reason, that skips his form change.
So the power of the void cannot defeat the power of chaos.
Yeah, I Chaos Dunked him. There was a left the Chaos Dunk warning. Chaos Dunk in progress.
Beautiful. And I'm Galoof just took off, and now I'm wandering the world trying to find where Sid and Mid hide.
I'm on run 2, which is White Mage start.
Okay.
So I ground to level 7 off of Nutkins, so that I can punch slightly harder. It took like 20 minutes.
God, just
Oh, god damn it. Okay. Wendigo is called Stalker in the algorithm fact. Forgot about that.
stop.
Oh, was
Having
that
trouble
his
looking it up.
was that his PlayStation name?
I have no idea. I don't know what the algorithm fact is based on. It still has like Kriz drag in it and stuff, so
Well, check if it has Wyvern.
yeah, there's no way it has Wyvern.
Yeah.
No. It does not have Wyvern.
All right.
So maybe there was some like official Super Nintendo translation.
Maybe it was like the first like ROM hack translation, because
I'm pretty sure it weren't the first, because then we would have
Sock Blood.
That's true. Very true. All right, so right. Oh, okay. Yeah, they took the black chocobo, and we need to go find them.
Yeah, so far tonight has been about food shapes
Okay.
and things that will never change about television and fake television.
Tell me about fake television.
Well, that's just the GDQ.
GDQ.
Oh, I thought you meant like TV within TV, or like, you know how there's like video games within TV. That's like fake.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the time where I had the television set up so that Rosella and I could do picture-in-picture of the games we were playing.
That's good too.
I had, oh my god, that owned. I had Bloodborne on the main screen, and she was doing Heavy Rain on another PlayStation, just in the picture-in-picture. I'm like,
Sweet.
which tragically I have learned is a feature that just sort of went away. That that was a evolutionary dead end of the television.
That's
I mean, evolutionary dead end of the television is a powerful concept.
all right. Do I have a good way of beating up these bosses? I think it's just called Swords Dance.
So what do you have actually? I can't.
Dance.
Your icons are too tiny for me to.
Yeah, I know. Dancer Knight Freelancer. And a Berserker.
Oh right, you got Freelancer.
Uh-huh. I got Freelancer.
So you're gonna have one person who's just taller than everybody else.
Yes. The almighty tallest, as it were.
Yeah, you're gonna have one character who's just your other characters, but just better in every way.
Yeah. Okay,
Also,
so
you'll
next-
get to cheat.
I'm not actually streaming, but the next time I do, someone will have to remind me to do some science with Chris Dragon.
Oh, bombs.
Lamp oil rope. if you've got the rupees.
Wow, this looks like one of the most miserable Perovolos fights possible. Actually.
Hold on, there's a secret to this. I need to reset though. There's a secret. That does look like a miserable fight, and I don't want to be in it, so we're gonna
Okay,
not.
okay, good. That's
You
good.
literally just said what your jobs were, but I've already forgotten.
Knight, Dancer, Berserker, and Freelancer. So, with the power of Freelancer, where's Karnak?
Rods.
I'm gonna
Although
buy
you-
a shit ton of rods.
You have another power you can do. You just have to do the. You just have to drain them of MP so that they can't cast a rise. They probably only have like 10,000 or something. I don't know.
No, they stopped casting a rise
I
on
mean,
2
they don't-
deaths.
Right, they only have like 60 or something.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But yeah, rods would do it. Ooh, you know what else would do it?
Hmm?
Whips.
Paralyzed.
No.
You're
You
right.
could kill them by hitting them with a whip, and then they'll get paralyzed, and then they won't be able to process their script. Of course, if you fail even once, then many of them come back, and
Then they all process their script.
Okay, which side of the fork tower is which?
Left side is magic.
All right.
And Kaz, you say the other side, so we like the team.
right side is muscles.
Mm. Well, really, they're all muscles, but
I walked clean through that wizard. My body bisected his.
Oh, glitchless run canceled.
Mhm.
You clip through that NPC.
I'm really happy that Freelancer actually is the like oddest way for me to open up like magic as an option here.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
I asked for the like for magic, and I do have it.
It's like a fucking monkey's paw.
Yeah.
Got every spell of the Wonder Rod soon to be at your disposal.
Oh my god. You're right. You're right.
What that means is you'll have to get yourself. No, you can berserk. You can berserk the omniscient with a power staff,
Yeah.
and then use guard cover.
Yep.
Yeah. Now you're thinking with portals.
That'd work. Also, here's the third frost rod for the victory. Kablam!
Let's go beat up a goblin for his shoes.
Arise! 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 Arise!
Awaken my
Arise.
masters.
I wish more fights in the game were like the Peroblos fight.
Like odd puzzles, like there's a lot of puzzle
Yeah.
bosses in the game. A lot more than
Yeah, I mean, the only other puzzle boss that I immediately can think of is Wendigo, and that puzzle isn't fair. It sucks. They're sort of Triton, Nereid, and Phobos, but if you just picked up the magic lamp, you can ignore them.
Yeah, I guess to rephrase, there are a lot of like puzzle bosses, and a lot of puzzle bosses you can ignore the puzzle.
Yeah. And it's not like Peroblos demands quite that much, right?
Yeah.
It's more like, haha, we caught you this once. And
Yeah.
then
Are you prepared to kill 6 enemies at the same time, player?
I completely forgot about this cutscene existing.
Alright, and then this one is... I think I have the HP for this.
Oh, right, I failed to describe the science that I was going to perform on Chris
Sci-
Dragon.
Science.
Yeah, I'm going to try and inflate him until he pops.
What?
So, Chris Dragon has 17,500 hit points. And He absorbs air, lightning, ice, and fire. So I think he's the best candidate for this test case. The the ultimate case being, can I do this to Omega? And, you know, trying to do science on Omega directly when you have this very specific need, it's probably the wrong approach. So I want to see if the idea can work at all on anything, and then, you know, try to do it to Omega instead. Omega also has a bunch of absorbs, as you might recall, or just know. I don't know if that's a matter of recollection, but anyway.
It's everything but lightning, I think.
Yep, it's pretty much all on the list. But he's not immune to any of them. I can tell you that. I also think that absorb shouldn't exist. I know I've gone on record with that before, but man, it's just ugh.
It's kind of a punishment when it comes up.
You know, but that it has some player utility makes me kind of like it, because it lets you do the Black Mage Flame Ring thing.
That's true. Like, that gives you the healing part of it. I think it should be doled out more, like less often. Like, if an enemy absorbs something, you should be able to have, like, kind of known that ahead. Like, using fire on a Freet. Something like that, where it's like, oh, that was a bad, like, you know, that's an obviously bad idea, rather than like, oh, right, this enemy just absorbs ice for some reason.
Beating up suckers with staves.
I think the biggest surprise in that regard is Neo Garula absorbing lightning. Because he comes paired with a bunch of Marrow, who are like merfolk, so it looks like, they're from the sea, let me use lightning on everybody. And then Neo Garula just like eats it up. You're like, oh, okay. Oops.
That's one thing I wouldn't mind as much, is just random ass monsters having more casual immunities where it barely matters. Like you're fighting some, I don't know, some green goblin monsters. Like, okay, I'm gonna use lightning on the goblins. It's like, oh no, these goblins enjoy lightning.
Well, Fred, let me introduce you to the Final Fantasy VI randomizer.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wind
dice. Air dice. Ooh, I was mad when I finally figured it out. Oh, I was so
air dice.
Freaking air dice. Ooh, sweet. I hit the Manticore with old.
That's pretty good.
And then my party is dying. Oh, that's not good. Turns out that when you do percentage damage, it doesn't matter.
I forgot to unback row my Lina and Ferris.
Okay, so the idea is this. I use one of Chris Dragon's elemental absorbs to see if I can push their hit points over the flow point.
Okay.
Of like 65 grand. To do this, I'll have to hit it with elemental attack a couple times, which is random. So I'll have to be keeping careful track of its hit points along the way.
Yeah,
or like what I think its hit points should be. I don't know if it gets capped. I don't think it does, because that would be extra processing, because then for every monster, instead of just storing like their starting HP value, it would also have to include an additional check against like some listed maximum HP value or something.
Well, that would be knowable through check, right? Like just the move check on
or Libra.
I don't think I have either of those things.
Okay, but like, you know, white mage or blue mage.
Right.
I keep fucking up casting Cure. Let's fight Carl Boss. What's the damage number? Well, 0 if it misses. $33.
Okay, and then that's Manticore actually down.
Oh man, the Tricker from FF4, who kept scanning himself.
That's a good one. Like, hey, I'm weak to lightning. Hey.
Just
Don't you think it'd be a
Man.
cool idea?
Lightning was really special in that game, huh? Because you had Cognazo, who
Yeah,
you could like shock out of his form. You had Odin, who gained a lightning weakness when he raised his sword.
yep.
And you had Tricker, who starts ripping you to pieces if you cast lightning on him.
Yep. Alright, anything I want to do in World 1?
Do you want rings?
I've got halfway there, I could get rings. What'd I pick up?
Well, you have halfway to ring.
Right, I have halfway to ring. Let me take a look to see if there's, like, ring that I'd want.
I'm pretty fond of Fire Ring.
Yeah.
I mean, I had Black Mage, so I basically had to get something like that.
Yeah.
Is your freelancer normal?
My
I think that's because of chaos, right?
Yeah, so I'm using pure chaos, which includes mime and freelancer in the job pool. So my fourth job was just rolled as freelancer. Not by a choice, mind you, just that's how the dice rolled. So it became the freelancer Fiesta.
All right, so yeah, I'm trying to see if I can wrap an enemy's HP value, because while it will be a like huge challenge to do this on Chris Dragon because he starts at 17.5,
Well,
Omega starts at curiously about 10,000 away from the wrap point that I'm guessing exists.
so two pieces of information I can give you on this, and one of them is relevant to this game, and one of them is from a different one. I've mentioned it before, but Omniscient does have 30,000 MP, and if you use an elixir on Omniscient, that gets set to 9999. That's MP, not HP, though, mind you.
Right.
So there is some sort of like max value that it is thinking of.
Yeah, I think that's a property of the elixir itself.
Right.
Or, I mean, because when you use an elixir, I think it would be different if you used an ether on him, for instance.
I know ethers also work.
Yeah,
They
okay.
wrap his
Really?
they wrap his MP too.
The other piece of information I know on this is just from a different game from the same company. In Chrono Trigger, the idea that you're looking at does work. There are
Yeah, I
some
know
bosses that, you know.
I know it also works in Mystic Quest.
Yeah. I remember I think that's Newbie who does the speed run of that.
Works in Lufia 2.
So, you know, it's one of those things that's, you know, unknown.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
wonder.
no, it's dumb to do this kind of science if I don't have the ability to check when there is a means in the game of doing so, you know? That's stupid.
That might be the thing you do after you beat Exdes is like just load your saves, leave the cleft, go buy Libra, and then just use White Mage for the purposes of detecting.
All right, time to leave.
Okay, the Forbidden Temple. I am going to need all 4 tablets to get there.
And then once you place all 4 tablets and get all the weapons, a cutscene plays and tells you that you should go.
Well, you leave the room, and one of the little scholar guys waddles up to you, and then he's like, aha,
Hello.
there was an earthquake. Go south.
All right, so I'm not going to... I can't even find it before then?
Nope. Does
All
not
right.
yet
It does
yet
not
appear.
exist.
I will not go looking for it then.
All right. I talked about getting stuff in World 1, and I did grab a pile of rods, because I know you can only get rods in World 1, other than poison. And I grabbed the healing stave, which I feel is important if I have a freelancer around. But
Yep.
the question now is, how many tents? I think the answer's a lot.
Well, there is an enemy that drops tents that you
Yeah,
get
I
to
think,
immediately.
I think that's what he means. Is how long
Oh,
is times
yeah.
killing POW.
yeah, how many tents?
All right.
They're free. Every skull. Every tent is free. All right. I'm going to get tents to 5 skulls. 2.
Okay, I have the flail, which is going to be a very important item.
More tents better than less tents. All right, that's good math. Thank you. Here's the cutscene. Should we use a 10?
I should turn on cursor memory before I drive myself mad.
What's getting you specifically?
I'm used to playing with it on.
Oh, okay.
I'm that guy. I play with the cursor memory and with XY inverted. That's me.
I should play with cursor memory with this setup because I want to have memory on dance. So that I actually use that command when I'm just jamming A lot.
Okay.
The thing that got me about cursor memory is that it applies to your menu as well as like battle.
Yeah.
Like I kind of want that toggle. Can I just turn it on for battle?
3 skull. Look, studies show that people really enjoy the skull. It's me.
A single cure kills all the undead enemies on the boat. It's just pretty good.
So that's a pretty easy like leveling spot too if you wanted that.
I have 38 experience. I need 570 to level up.
Like obviously you already had to level much higher than sort of normal just for beating up Carl Boss.
I might not have needed to, but I definitely wanted to.
Right. Alright, 1 more skull is all we need.
If any of these skeletons drop their fucking daggers for me, then I'm gonna rip them apart. With my teeth.
5 skull, there we go. Alright. It was time to use a 10. 18 was our end number.
Undead High School is undead, right? Let's find out.
I think all of them are undead. Including Undead High School. Bum 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 bum.
Yeah, half of Siren isn't undead, half of her is. I'm not undead, although I am. There's a boat.
See, the glorious part of this is that you can use the same spell to damage Siren and restore yourself.
Right.
Like some kind of black mage with a flame ring.
Yeah, you know, talking more specifically about my Siren fight, I didn't have that particular luxury, so.
You couldn't cast fire on yourself to heal yourself. Yeah.
Not then.
You could cast fire on yourself. That's definitely a legal action. one's truly desirous of something. Ah, it's time for the giant mirror, and also Ferris the Hedgehog. Oh, goodbye, Ferris the Hedgehog.
Rise and shine, dullards.
X-Death has really similar, like, on the sprite here, at least. Not on the big X-Death. On the little sprite, though, has really similar sort of, like, pauldrons plus cape to what I remember Dorgan having in the little flashback. Except for a different color.
It's because he's inhabiting Dorgan's body.
Well, he's a tree. Bring forth the giant beer!
You can't say that Dorgan wasn't a tree. I mean, you can, but you can't prove it.
I'll say it all I want. You can say he is a tree all you want.
Yeah. Only mine supported by evidence.
I don't think yours is supported by any evidence.
Oh, they share the same pauldrons, which means that he stole the body of Dorgan as like a trick of Satan. And because the next death is a tree, and they share the same body, it means Dorgan is a tree.
But what about Bart's?
It's half tree.
Oh, is that why his hair turns from green to brown?
Yeah, it's like from spring to autumn.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. All right.
See, it all works out.
No. Now I'm actually on your side here. That makes sense.
Okay, we don't actually know if Butts is half tree or not, because we don't have any evidence of whether Stella is a tree or not.
Well,
All we know is that she's a corpse.
we know that he's at least half tree, and that's proven by the hair.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true.
All right. So Galoof is just gonna go in here as a berserker and make it happen. That's the plan.
We'll just have to get the death proc against Gilgamesh.
Yeah, that's.
You call that living the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Have at ye, mind flush.
Dorgan. Can't believe that Bart's just murders a wolf.
He's too strong. I mean, how many wolves have you killed to get where you are today? In the Fiesta.
Oh, sorry. In the Fiesta, too many. Infinite. Uncountable.
I'm not sure how many wolves I've killed through my actions in life. It's kind of hard to keep track of all the things you caused to die inadvertently through your actions. I'm sure a wolf somewhere has eaten... Like, I didn't finish an entire loaf of bread and like, threw away the plastic. With the heel still in there. And a wolf at a garbage dump tried to eat the bread heel and then choked on the plastic and died. That would be an indirect result of my actions, and I have no way of measuring that. I can only assume that has happened many, many, many times. You can only assume it's happened every time you've thrown away a bread heel inside the plastic bread wrapper. Which is why you should never do that. You should eat the plastic yourself, so that your digestive system, which is stronger than a wolf's, can break it down.
Come on. Galoof versus Tarantula.
Okay, the X-Death and Dorgan both being a tree argument, I was willing to get someone to engage me on, but this one, no one's fucking touching, huh?
No.
What? When you're right, you're right.
Yeah, it's like that's a JoJo's, isn't it? You know, how many wolves have you killed? Oh, how many bread heels have you thrown away? Oh,
I do look up to Dio a lot. He was headless for a while. Of course, he was also a head for a while, which is the antithesis.
Well, I mean, to be headless at some place else, your head must exist, right?
I mean, no.
But
I don't have a head.
you're sure it's not like in a on the ground somewhere,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
just waiting.
Well, there's something waiting for all of us, gents.
Right, your head.
Maybe. I'm not willing to write that out of my life, but I'm pretty sure there isn't. But there might be. I have to concede that there might be. I no longer have a head if my head in a video game was turned into a sword in a video game. Because then it's a sword, not a head.
Well, it was a head.
Yeah, well, a table was a tree.
I love
It
that
ain't a tree no more.
I love
Blacksmith
that
is rather
so
good.
much.
Okay. Time to fight Siren.
I've decided to engage in a bit of lesser sorcery.
Alright. Hey,
And
Gilgamesh.
just not stream it.
Alright, Gilgamesh. Let's tangle. Ah! Hey, Skull! And Gilgamesh is fucking dead.
Siren has become one of the undead. Galoof, I really need your silence to wear out some point in the now.
I'm sorry I killed Gilgamesh. Alright, but the squad's all here. Berserker, Dancer, Knight, Freelancer. All level 20, convenience, so that I can die to level 5 death.
That does sound convenient.
It's pretty convenient. It's a pretty good setup. Let's go.
Oh, you're saying I'm Porky the Litter Eater. Well, I have some bad news, Huzzah. That's what we call it's a box that has a pig painted on it. It's not a real thing, sadly.
Well,
I mean, the box is real. And
right.
the picture of the pig is real insofar that it is a picture of a pig, but it's not. It's even an effigy of a pig, even because it's got depth. It's more like a sculpture of a pig, but it's not a pig. It's a demon that they trapped in a shrine for you to feed bottles and broken glass to.
well, no, don't do that.
No, he hates it. That's what he was there for. He's tricked everyone in defeating him his favorite thing, which is garbage. Soda pop cans and paper.
But never.
Never feed me bottles or broken glass. Okay, that was Siren.
Yeah, I assume that's got to be a quick one for you.
It wasn't so bad. Forza Motorsport's gonna fucking suck, though. I'll have Protect, but...
Alright, time for the bridge. Love this bridge. What if there was an enemy in the game who had, like, their only spells were, like, level 3, level 4, and level 5 death?
Do they cast level 4 death and level 3 deaths?
Yeah, like, so they have a bunch of them. So you have to continuously, you have to, like, really keep your party off.
Now, if you knew what order they were casting the spells, you could defeat them with Chemist.
True.
Now, granted, you can defeat many enemies with Chemist, but in that particular style.
Right.
I think that would be a fine enemy in a game where you had more direct control over levels. Like, not as costly or rare an ability.
Yeah, okay.
Like, you know how in, like... If you could modify your level... Like, this is an action?
Like, if it was like a tension level, like in a Dragon Quest or something.
Ooh, or like Dragon, or no, God Hand. Like that,
Okay.
Dragon Punch.
Okay, I've done a little bit of science,
Okay.
and I think that my approach cannot possibly ever work.
Oh.
For one, the game actually does keep track of enemies' maximum health. How about that?
I guess, like...
Like, it lists, like, number out of number. But this is the real killer, and I think gives us a glimpse into the design of Omega.
Mhm.
Because Omega has a curious number of hit points. See, the rat point number would be 65,535,
Uh-huh.
I presume. Omega has 10,005 fewer hit points than that.
So if you went plus 9999...
Yeah, it still wouldn't quite wrap. And I think that means there is some point at which the, like, check happens, and so it could work. Just, like, there's no enemy in the game who has, like, a health total that's anywhere close to that being a possibility.
Parts of Neo X Death.
Really?
Some parts of Neo X Death have 60,000 flat. And I think, I want to say X Death has 55,001 HP or something like that.
Yep. I think his first form I think has 44,001.
Oh, 44 and 1. Maybe what you said about Omega, that might be Omega's number.
Yeah, Omega is 555 30 or something like that.
Okay. Hey, Gilgamesh.
I only know X deaths because I had to pay very careful attention to how much damage I was doing to him earlier. See, it was much faster to whittle him down with a different attack before unloading dark matter on him.
So the most powerful thing I can do in this fight would be to land the old proc from my sword. That'll stop everything but jump from working in the fight. It won't stop jump because that has a base 400 damage. It also does make sense to store that value because you have to know what that starting value is in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm. And I think the existence of Karaga just being set to full is enough for that number to need to exist. Otherwise, Karaga just wouldn't work on random monsters.
Yeah, I got a Swords Dance for 500 because I'm fighting... Gilgamesh, who's protected now.
I will try to fight you, Cockatrice. I said, trying to get my deck list uploaded.
Okay, the part of Neo X Death who has 60,000 hit points doesn't have any absorbs.
Ooh.
Could you give him one using chemistry?
I mean, probably. That's getting a little complicated.
I know, but if we're having a plan here, we might as well go all out. I actually think chemists can give immunities, but I don't know if he can give absorbs. Okay, we're fighting Magissa. I have some tools in this fight, but they all suck. I can silence Megissa to keep her from buffing Forza. And I can cast Protect to keep Forza from just annihilating me.
Okay, I think I need to take that fight slower, and then make sure I get the old proc. Like, I need old to be on.
Okay, mix resist fire, absorbs fire damage.
Ooh.
What is that? 16. It is, Ether Phoenix down. Wait. What? That'd be weird. Yeah.
Really happy that my Doom Axes are doing 666 damage.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Ether Eye Drop. Yeah.
Okay.
Ether Eye Drop. So,
Definitely something that's getting complex, but also...
So, we give the back of X-Death Fire Absorb, and then do Fire Critical Attack.
Is this the same part that dies to Odin?
It is.
All right.
Yeah, when we're trying to style on him, we're not quite trying to defeat him in the most efficient ways possible.
Well, nevertheless.
I am fighting the flying killers.
Shields are up.
Good old Galacat.
Galoof, your job is going to be important. You're going to just repeatedly cast Silence on Megissa.
Oh god, the one thing I do want to get... Wait a minute. Oh, I should be doing this more.
Oh shit! I would have a good one for you if FF5 were FF6 and work by those rules. So you know, in FF6, when a character becomes confused, they perform the last action that you had queued for them.
Ooh.
It lets you do some kind of nonsense.
So I silenced Megissa, but she hit me with Arrow, which cheats because it's blue magic.
Yep. Criminal wizards.
I hope I get Blue Mage. I'll be incredibly happy if I get Blue Mage. There's Megissa, Forza, Motorsport. Going to continue to attack Megissa.
Yeah. Blue Mage, White Mage. It's a good pair. Having Confuse in your toolbox makes a lot of things a lot easier.
Okay, so this time against Gilgamesh, I'm going to remember that I actually have the ability to heal. And make use of that. Hey, there's old. Okay. Also, Gilgamesh is now old. So after a couple turns, the only thing I'm going to have to worry about is going to be jump. Jitterbug. kind of silly trick about this is that Ferris, being a freelancer with no magic backing her up, has really low heals from the heal staff.
I think if you put dance on her, it would be higher, or maybe equip ribbon. One of the two.
Ooh, okay. That's worth.
Also, that'll just go up once you've mastered dancer too, because freelancer gets better stats when you've mastered jobs.
Yep.
Okay, Megissa is dead, so now it's just fighting Forza.
Mm-hmm.
I will win this fight.
This is far from the strongest of swords. Okay, I need Gilgamesh to forget that jump is a move for just a little bit. Ah, Gladiator.
My struggles will not be over once I'm done with this fight, because Gorilla is going to be this, but exactly the same, really. Gorilla will actually be worse, because I'll only have one attacker
I was
against
about to
Gorilla.
say.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be old Ferris attacking with the flail.
So yeah, the difference between this fight getting the ult off and not getting the ult off is very large. Also realizing I have heal staff.
Can he be silenced? I forget. If he can, that'll make... yeah. Because if you can silence him before his script fires off, if he's silenced while it's firing off, he won't be able to cast his buffs.
I don't think so. Let me check.
And you absolutely don't have to spell past that point. That's way too early.
Gilgamesh Bridge. Not on the list.
Alright.
I remember trying that with Mage Mash before, and it not working because that's just so inconsistent to set up.
Neo Garula. Show Neo Garula the skull. Alright. Home free.
I'll take a moment to Libra Forza just to see how much I'm cooking. Oh, he had 7 HP left when I Libra'd him, so
That's the
if I just attacked,
That's the
yeah.
curse of Libra right there.
Yeah.
How close to death? Oh.
Stole your Gatorade and your whip, and I have a Mithril helmet now.
Bonk.
Okay, it looks like Gilgabot accepted a picture of a glitched background as a death shot. Because my Fiesta page has been updated to reflect the 3 victories.
Perfect.
All right.
So my fraud was complete. Would Windrake be a natural predator of Garula? I don't know. Okay, when you leave Waltz by a meteor, you likely park your Windrake nearby. The only monster in that area is Garula. Hmm. If fraud is legal, is it still fraud? Absolutely!
Yes.
Because what you're defrauding is good taste, which knows neither law nor reason.
About where do I need to be looking for the temple?
Once you get the cutscene, look for boiling water to the south of the Phantom Village.
Alright, Phantom Village.
It might show up on your map.
I do believe it is not.
Oh. I say that because there is a separate underwater map.
Yeah, I did look at that, and I didn't notice anything
Okay.
different. But I have found it now.
Why does World 2 have Neo Gorillas if normal ones don't exist there? Well, it's been so long nobody remembers why they call them Neo
Yeah.
Gorillas. It's like in 1,000 years no one will know of normal York. They'll only know of Neo New York.
Mm-hmm.
2 steps removed from York. Other than Tom York, who is still alive.
In 1,000 years.
Yep, in his death prison above the skies of South Africa.
You know, I always go and get the elf cape,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know how much use I actually get out of it.
I use elf capes a lot. I
I know, but
I
like,
leave them equipped most of the game.
but how good is it really?
Agility, like 15 or 30% block chance with some points of agility.
I always find it really useful on, like, having a character with that plus a shield makes them really hard to hit. Because, you know, they're basically double blocking. Or that plus a shield plus Mongaush.
Yeah, the specific pairing of it with Mongosh is really useful. Plus the agility comes up a lot. Boosting agility is hard otherwise.
Honestly, I think the biggest reason is that at that stage in the game, and even, like, through World 2, you don't have any other choice on accessories. Like,
Yeah, like my current accessories right now are 1 elf cape, 1 pair of leather shoes, and a pair of silver specs.
Yeah, I mean, I feel you. I don't know.
it's like
I
blocking
think it's
mail.
not worth the effort. No, it's not like blocking mail. It doesn't speak to me.
It's
I
basic.
can't force it to always work.
Honestly, I think that the fight I use it the most in is Minotaur.
Where your options are limited.
And you also, like, dodge is the only real thing you want.
Plus, I never buy flame rings in World 1, so I don't have anything better. Maybe that's why. You always have a better accessory. Plus, it's stealing when you steal the elf cape.
It is kind of stealing.
Because most of the kings say, like, okay, you have free reign to take anything in the castle. King of Waltz don't say that! He dies! He did not give us permission to take the elf cape. We just fucking took it. Speaking of, I should go back to Castle Tool and obtain the heal rod.
Oh, I should look up movers.
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 Let's see.
Is my head secretly a bread heel? Maybe. Well, I hate heads, but I kind of like bread heels. Bread heels are better for certain kinds of improvised foods than real bread is. They work better as hot dog buns.
Alright. I've collected Oracle. I've lost Summoner.
Gained a wizard, lost a wizard. I'm not going to... That seems like a raw deal, going to be honest. They just took my Berserker, which was sad, but factually probably a good thing.
Alright. Bottom dollar here.
I bought robes
Hello.
for the Forza and Megissa fight, and then never equipped them. Because I'm a dingbo.
Hey, Andrew.
Okay.
So a Gardener says they will throw you in jail and take... Yeah, yeah. Like, if you steal from that castle, we've seen the wolf got thrown. You know,
They threw for stealing from Castle Karnak. They threw him into jail. Yeah, there's some people in Jens' chat. I've got mine open too. It seems like half and half at this point.
Yep. I've got both open.
It's proved far more practical than trying to tell people to go to one chat or the other, just to keep the main ones open for whoever's going.
Regol Brew.
You get a free inn stay at the cost of a long cutscene.
I'll take it. I have $70.
Mm-hmm. Although the monsters around there do drop a fair amount of change if you need it. I know
I
this
don't know
because
if I can just fight movers. 10,000 is asking a lot.
Yeah, and like you basically it's like always asking Requiem, I think.
Yeah. It's certainly the easiest way.
Right.
This lists their magic defense is 0. I wonder if I could actually get in enough Agas.
Alright. Continuing to move over to Moogle Village.
I guess my point with this is, if I can defeat movers, then I should level up Gladiator on everybody.
Kaz isn't streaming, so he's just
Right.
doing ghost stuff in the ghost zone. He's been infected with ghosts.
Happens.
I'm working on it.
David KHP on 2 souls too. 2 souls too soon.
2 souls, 2, 3 souls. 5 souls doesn't have time for this.
Tokyo Drift.
Oh god, Kuza Beast.
Yeah! Welcome to Wild Back Attack.
Please tell me you can be hit by the skull! Yes.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
they can.
Goodbye.
Apple Cola.
Feeling good on that timing.
Give me the rod, you impetuous whatever fucker who clips into my body. No, because I talked to you from the side.
Damn it.
I'm not actually going to equip the heal rod for a while because I don't have anyone else who could fucking attack.
But from a practical standpoint, also, I think the Elf Cape's dodge is 25%.
I always remembered it as 15, but I don't know.
Yeah, that's me remembering a number, but some.
For all practical purposes, the dodge percent is some percent. I can heavily agree with such a statement.
Okay, good.
I mean, I'm here to have the algorithm fact open and check stuff.
That's true.
So, here it is. Roll of 0 to 99 and less than 33, the attack misses. So it's 1 and 3.
Wow.
Mhm.
This only counts for things that can be evaded, of course. But
Right.
How good is my... I'm gonna quickly cheat for a second. Lena, become a knight for a moment.
Cheating enabled.
Yep, so I can see what the evasion on my shield is. Bronze shield has 15% evasion. The highest evasion a shield can have is 50.
Yep. Hey, Moogle.
So 30 is pretty dang good. It's twice what I thought it was. Okay, who gets my silk robe? Probably whoever gets the... I'm gonna give it to Lena.
but yeah, Mangosh, Defender Sword are your 1 and 4s.
Okay. That's where that is. Does the algorithm fact happen to know how those stack?
Well, they are independent checks.
Okay.
So, in theory, they stack that way.
It,
know?
so it's not like a
like-
use highest, you know.
Right. There's like an order. Like half the goddamn FAQ is like the damage formulas, and
Oh my god.
in like step 6.3.4 we get to like checking evade.
Yeah, I love that you're literally in the comp rules over there.
Yeah. Love the comp rules.
Yeah.
That's my goal for my life, is to live long enough to either see Magic the Gathering as a game die, or for the Blood Moon rule to be abolished, and for the card Blood Moon to be eroded.
How so?
How easy would it be for Blood Moon to be eroded to just say, non-basic lands lose all abilities and are mountains? To remove all the ambiguity.
Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can anyone equip Silver Armlet? Yes.
I mean, that's,
Okay.
that's really the wording that I suggested to them,
Right.
but I don't know. I don't think they really care. Even though, like, it's now this cornerstone of the modern format for some reason.
Yeah, because Blood Moon's good. Because it's a wonderful spell to cast. Because you're not allowed to cast Back to Basics, so you have to cast Blood Moon instead.
Mm-hmm.
Well, why not both?
But yeah, okay, so part of the steps of 6.2.1, hit determination for physical attacks. Number 4, check for the evadability weapon block. The weapon block due to hardened or defender.
Hmm.
Weapon block due to guardian. I think that's Mangosh.
Mhm.
Or elf cape succeed. So defender and guardian use the same formula. So if you're equipped with both of those, or if you're equipped with like 2 Mangoshes, I don't think those stack.
Hmm.
I think I learned that one year because I had Ninja, and I tried that.
The double gauche.
Or like Sasuke's Katana with a Mongosh, really.
Yeah.
Because it also has the same thing.
Yeah, I think... I don't know what Sasuke's Katana is called in the algorithm fact.
Right.
It might be called Hardened, for all I know, or
Like
remember.
Or Hardened Katana, maybe?
Mm. You would have
I
had a
know it-
one-word name.
It's not a katana. I know that.
Yeah.
It's a short sword. Of which there are like 3. There's kunai, There's Sasuke's katana, and then there's like another one.
Is Ashura?
Ashura is a samurai
Oh,
sword.
yeah, that is okay.
Yeah.
Harden was a weapon for Shadow in 6.
Hmm.
Yep. I also don't know where it is in FF5 because I don't play this version anymore. Like,
Tell me how much HP Garula has, game. Let me know what my suffering is.
hooray! Sasuke's blade equals Harden. So
Okay.
yeah, Harden uses the defender check. So if you're somehow equipped with both of those, it shouldn't stack. But Sasuke's katana mango should, because they're different steps.
That's
It's very odd.
I mean, things like random dodges are hard to test for.
right.
So Garula only has 700 HP left.
That means Gorilla's in counterattack mode.
Yeah, he is, but let's see what my damage is. 50. I only have to hit him like 15 times.
It's the fakest boss in the game.
Alright, well, let me know if I can look up any other nonsense.
Can you look up what joy feels like and try to relate it to me in terms I can understand?
You know what? It's not in the algorithm fact.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's old.
I could send him an email.
that would be useful, thank you.
Hmm.
There's Berserk.
Now we're getting into some Yoko Taro stuff.
Oh, wait.
Where the Berserk is joy.
Well, there is throbbing.
Ooh, there is throbbing. And spirit capture. Maybe the algorithm fact holds more life secrets than we thought.
Memory erase.
So which game would have joy as a status effect?
Lisa.
Final
Uh,
Fantasy VII.
Lisa, Final Fantasy VII, or Chrono Cross. Final Fantasy VIII probably would as well, because that had sad. No, that was
No,
7.
Se-
Yeah,
7
7
had
had.
sad. That's
7
why I
had
thought it
sad.
had happy. Maybe it had angry instead.
9 had virus. That's not.
Yep, virus.
That was a status effect in that game. Or trouble.
Trouble.
Ooh, trouble.
Alright, time to go lawn mowing.
Yeah, 10-2 has itchy. Accidentally blocked with my person who can attack, but it's fine. Yeah, I think happy and sad, angry and sad changed the rate at which you got limit in 7. Like if you were sad, you would just stop generating heat. I think that's what it did. I don't remember. Oh no, I used to heal stuff on Garula. That just wiped off like 6 attacks. Hey!
Here all night, folks.
Yeah, try the veal. Because I'm a joke. I mean, because I'm expending 0 resources and am dealing damage, eventually it'll... Although, Gorilla is doing a very good job attacking characters when their turn starts, so they stop being in the block status when the attack happens.
Moogle. Sweet. Got my 3rd elf cape. And now we can go just hang out with the Moogles.
So I'm approaching 2 hours in
Mm-hmm.
to the run.
I thought you were saying I'm approaching 2 hours into the Garula fight.
About, yeah. I will note that I think 2 hours is about my normal liquid flame time.
Yeah, that's... I guess in my mind, it's like 1 hour on Siren. Or maybe, I know 1 hour on Carl Boss, depending on the start. Because, like...
1 hour on Siren sounds about right.
Yeah. Hey, V-Prez.
Mangarzolum.
Well, I am just heading back to the castle, and then we're gonna have to go kill a wolf and fight the dragon plant. That mountain's gonna not be great, because that's a mountain I have to give up death sickles on.
Or, I mean, how many of those enemies do you really have to fight?
I haven't given up Brave Blade status yet.
Oh, okay.
Like, there might come a point where I give it up, but Two-Hand Brave Blade is a pretty good... Two-Hand Brave Blade Dance is a pretty good place to be.
Yeah, that is pretty good. The chicken dance would maybe be enough of an allure to get me to not do the Brave Blade challenge, but...
Oh.
The Brave Dance is also very good. Especially because you can have Equip Ribbon on your... If your freelancer is doing it, they have Equip Ribbon as a passive once they've mastered Dancer, so they can just wear the red dress, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll get to all the benefits of your station.
Yeah, that's kind of the power, is that I have like this combo of freelancer, dancer, knight, which makes that possible.
Right. Okay, no Doomaxes. Man, like hardly any dancing either, unless you want to, like, jitterbug donate.
Yeah, it's just gonna be big attacks with two-handed. Oh, I'll be able to pick up Greatsword, actually. That's in the mode.
Yep.
I
It's in the
almost
mode.
never use that weapon.
Big stinky sword. You get lots of powerful weapons in World 2 for Knight, because you'll get the Flame and Ice brand, too, in Nextet's Castle.
Oh, wow, I almost never get those.
Two-handed Flame Tongue is very, very strong.
What sort of weapon's Flamberge?
Flamberge? I don't... Is that just... Oh, I beat Gorilla. Is Flamberge just the, I'm gonna have to tweet.
Good job.
Yeah, get a job.
Well, I mean, you know what this one's gonna be.
I mean, I don't actually.
Really?
Yeah, it's 2/3 to be what it did that.
Okay. Okay.
I have to remember my alternate Twitter's login. It was what I assumed it was.
That's good.
The entirety of my notifications for this alternate Twitter is just, in case you missed it, for Eric Kozoil.
Just in case. Alright, remember to buy holy water or else things get bad.
Yep, very bad. Yep, Berserker. Okay, that's good. Yeah, red dress is actually really powerful armor.
Yeah.
Red shoes and red dress are very powerful, although the shoes are an accessory, so that's why you don't really want to use them. Really, it's just Lamians that are kind of lame compared to like the other headgear you can be wearing. It's just that hats are usually the freest slot.
Oh god, where is it in the moat? It's here somewhere, right?
All the way to the right and around. It's a...
Yeah, you're in the right spot.
There we go. Found Greatsword lying in the water.
It's really funny that I was happy to get a Berserkers.
Well, they do pair well with White Mage.
Yeah, like I really don't have to do anything unless I'm needed.
It's like the white mages are riding on the Berserker.
Yep.
Yeah, it's like Master Blaster. You have the Master and the Blaster. White Mage rules Barter Town.
It is interesting to note the differences in Moogles between games.
Sometimes they're God. Sometimes they're dumb animals. Sometimes they're just people.
Yep.
What if in all of these scenarios they are God? I think
Are you
that's the
saying?
only case that covers for all of these other contingencies.
Are you saying that maybe God is one of us? Command Guy Hammer without overflow. Yeah, pretty. It's like okay. Just like putting any ability on your Berserker that raises their magic stat will work. Even without any sort of ability, it just kind of does a lot of damage. The Quake might, without like any boosting, the Quake will sometimes just like do 1,000 damage to everything, which is okay. And it is itself kind of a powerful weapon.
There's sort of a power curve to the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where if you're in World 1 and you do like 200 damage, you're doing great. As soon as you get to World 2, you need to be doing 1,000. and like by the time you're entering the cleft, you need like 3,000 or 4,000.
I'd say you
Like,
can
those
get
are-
by on 2,500, but things are gonna
Yeah,
be rough.
if it's consistent. But
Like
Like-
like a Fire 3 or something.
right, if that's like your if that's your biggest thing, then you might actually be hurting. And like getting much higher than that is genuinely difficult. Right? Like it requires either tricks or like a lot of levels because your level is a part of most damage formulas.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Is Galoof and Bolero are going to become berserkers. And they're just gonna not get any new equipment until I get to Karnak. So one of them's so they're using knife and dagger.
Alright, let's head upstairs and talk to the little dragon, and then hey Kryle.
Because I don't want to buy this worthless equipment only to immediately replace it as soon as I get to Karnak. It also means I'm running from monsters. Remember to unback row, my berserkers. I don't hate the Moogle in Final Fantasy 13 too. It is maybe the least offensive part of the game.
Ah, the Moogle.
Yep.
I don't even remember there being a Moogle in Final Fantasy 13 too.
There's Mog. It's the thing you throw to interact with the world.
The time-traveling Moogle.
It's where we got
okay,
our dying
okay.
hippo.
Yeah. It also, if you throw it off a cliff, it'll scream.
Okay,
It's terror.
now I remember.
Yeah. It all comes flooding back, right? Those hours.
I
Yeah.
mean, I
The-
know
the-
I saw a lot of that LP, but like most of what I remember is just putting like hats on things. I know there was more
Yeah,
to
I
it
mean,
than that, but that's
I don't think
what
there
I
was.
remember.
Like, I lived that LP, and I don't fucking remember it. Like, So about getting Scrunchy, I think the decision to obtain Scrunchy was where we really took a dive. Like,
You mean like the 3-hour-long video to get one power orb to finish Scrunchy? Instead of just using the orbs you had?
mhm.
No, that was KFJ and PokeCaptain getting hairs up their asses to do things right.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, and like there was even like off-screen grinding that we did to like not only get levels but also like these arcane materials and shit. Like, whereas what happened was when we were actually like doing any kind of like endgame fights or whatever, they just sort of vanished, and I'm like, okay, well, shrug. Like, so we spent all this time so that our videos would have no content. Because the grinding isn't good content, and then the outcome is just fights that don't do anything, and then they're gone, and we don't have to think about them.
Scrunchy, let that tickle.
Oh, I was mad about Scrunchy. I was happy about Gank. You know, like when we found Gank, and it's just like, whoa, maybe we can have an electro murder horse with a cannon on its back and put a tiny hat on some part of it. Sure. So, yeah, I don't know what everyone else's mood was while they were making it. Well, I have a little bit of insight into KFJ's mood, but the others not so much. And then, some of them came and went too.
It smelled like...
Renleve was in the background of almost the entire thing. Like, he didn't say fucking anything, but he was there. Like, so if you want to like rewatch the whole thing, knowing that Renleve is watching you, then, like,
No, I guess maybe he would be the one to ask for his analysis on it.
Well, that's
Oh,
fair because Final Fantasy 13-2 is really a game that speaks for itself.
It's really
Hmm.
really the whole experience is about family. It's the posse being a family together, eating a pine cone. He's just chewing on it until
Oh,
the
what
fiber
was the-
breaks down.
What was the name of the dead girl?
Oh, I
Yule.
don't know.
Yule.
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 A Yule.
I guess we should. I guess we could maybe avoid talking about spoiler things in case Lio9 never plays the game. I would implore him not to, but it's his decision.
I'm not sure that game can be spoiled. Like, I did a plot breakdown of Final Fantasies 13 and 13-2 for the sake of the thread because people were making up a bunch of shit. I'm like, that didn't happen. Like, and they were trying to like hinge their argument on it too. Like, no, this character is important and good because they did all this. I'm like, they just didn't though. The scenes you're describing did not take place.
See, that sounds great to me, though. I should have been doing that. I don't know what
Wow.
I think.
No,
I
mean,
just avoided that thread because it was horrible.
See,
Uh,
all of my
Red is
knowledge
actually
of the game is just tangential, mostly to these conversations, which makes the game this fascinating enigma. You know?
right, for you, it's the goddamn monolith. Like, what is all of this stuff? But I promise you, there is none of the treasure hidden beneath that promise.
Thank
It
you
is
for the
only
bits.
La Mulana.
Thank
it
you
is
for the
just-
bits, Ingrid.
It's huge and empty. Nothing means anything. It takes too goddamn long. The mechanics are bad. It's exactly La Mulana. The more I think about this,
See,
or even right down to the skeletons that tell you to install different software on your computer.
Hmm.
see what I think is that Final Fantasy 13-2 is a game that had every opportunity to be extremely good, and at every juncture it could have made the correct decision. It made the wrong decision. So
Yeah,
They
I don't even
accident-
see the potential. Like
they accidentally wrote the How to Be Great book by writing the How to Be Very Bad book.
So, I can feel you a little there, right? Like, what was the platonic ideal of the combat system from 13 and 13-2?
Whatever it was.
Well,
Like,
no, I mean,
but
it
no,
can't-
no, no. 13-2. It was like it had all these tools it could have used to be interesting, but instead it was nothing. It was in
But,
service
okay,
to
okay,
nothing.
just for the sake of the conversation, let's talk about one of those things.
Yeah.
Pick one, and we'll talk about it. Because I'm a little lost.
So like like you're talking about like combat swapping, like the class.
Yeah, let's just talk about that. Let's talk about 13 actually, because that's the one that you've played
Yeah.
freshly, Slyo. For like, I mean, you probably know more about it than us, for sure. I don't remember
Comparatively,
anything. Like,
But yeah, like
Like,
you have the like crux of the combat system is the like changing classes on the fly, in a similar sense to like Final Fantasy X-2.
yeah, shit. Maybe Final Fantasy X-2 is actually the good version of that combat, right? Because that was X-2 was also live action, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Or
Yeah,
Like it was on the
active.
Yeah, you have the
Not
bars.
turn-based. Yeah, like they haven't done turn-based since like 10 or Bravely Default or whatever. Pokemon.
So yeah, maybe that's the actual answer is
Yeah.
that they already did it.
Huh.
Oh no, you hate snow.
Dorgan is
But
leaving.
he punches his own fist though.
Yeah, you don't actually need to play more of FF13. Like, it has a lot of the same plot nuances of every Kingdom Hearts game, where if you're looking at any given scene or like any given like scene extension, which in Kingdom Hearts is like the planet that you visit, right? The world. You go to a world and you do a plot, and the plot makes sense for what that world is, who set it up, that kind of thing. And mostly it's ripping off Disney movies, but whatever. And in FF13, the larger unit of the scene, where like scene would be like any cutscene, is the like chapter. I think they're divided up into two, or like mini chapters, because you have the parts where you're like following two people, following two people, following two people.
They're
right?
basically chapters.
Right. And I would consider that roughly equivalent to a scene in a movie, right? And so if we're extending this metaphor out a little bit, the plot of Final Fantasy XIII in its entirety plays out like a movie where none of the scenes actually lend themselves to the next scene that happens, and most of them don't even have the same characters in them. It would be like a movie that you built out of two miniseries from different shows.
So you're saying that Final Fantasy XIII is a Godfrey Ho film?
Yeah, almost. And like,
where's the scene where Snow talks on a Garfield phone?
I think it would be more like if we took like 3 episodes of Battlestar Galactica from the like classic one, and then 3 episodes from like 2000s Battlestar Galactica, and just sort of weaved them and had you watch them scene to scene and were like that. So like while you were looking at any people talking and they were talking about stuff, you'd be like, oh yeah, you know, that makes sense. And then it would go to this other thing, and then it's like, that sort of relates to, because they both said Cylons.
Yeah, and like Tom Zarek was in that scene, but like, he wasn't like Zarek in that scene, so that's weird. But yeah, you know, I get your, like, it's so disconnected that it doesn't.
Yeah, as soon as you try to tell the overall story, it just it falls apart. Nothing makes any sense. No one makes logical decisions based on information that they would have, like glittery anime stuff happens every now and again.
It's a golden ninja power. Yeah, that was never the part of the games I thought were any decent or anything at all. I think that the battle system was novel and worth exploring. Perhaps what if the encounters, the optimal thing to do in the game is to make, like, you just want some of your loadouts to be Commander, Ravager, I can't speak, and then healer, and then like some fights you needed triple Sentinel. But, like, all of the planning and like careful consideration you could possibly do is not as, because of how the most of the fights go, just not as good as doing the most efficient, powerful thing at any given moment. So,
I mean, the thing that gets me about the battle system as it is, and what makes me hesitant to believe that it could be improved without substantially changing it, is the fact that like take the roles of Saboteur and the opposite of that one. Synergist.
Yep.
Take the roles of Saboteur and Synergist for an example, right? Because they only exist to apply debuffs. And once you apply the debuff, it was there, and they run through their list of debuffs and apply all of them. And then you run through your list of buffs and apply all of them. So you have a bunch of icons on you, and they have a bunch of icons on them, and that's it. There's no strategic reasoning to this other than minus you plus me, right? So the nuance is lost in the streamlined nature that the system itself is.
Because I guess if you take that idea and extend it, what you're doing, what that class is doing is not like apply buff, apply debuff. It's spend time for increased or decreased damage in some way. You know, you're deciding the fight is going to last X amount of time, and it's better to place some sort of buff on you. You know, that's
right.
That's the only time you're making that decision.
So, I mean, compared to something like what we're playing now, Final Fantasy V, where by silencing the Gissa in that fight, you steal turns from her by so doing. You're like spending an action to buy more actions and having a direct effect that you can perceive on the game. Indeed, a direct effect that you intended. I can't intend things with the fucking Saboteur. They just go. They're like, "Ugh."
It sounds like an entire, or like an elaboration of the Berserker class. Like there are
everyone is berserkers.
There's decisions you can make, but they happen orthogonal to the battle itself.
That's very true. Like, you could, like, and in the game you can choose to, like, you know, go
like auto do it, like manually do stuff
manually
for the
do
character you're
things, but
controlling.
it's so much worse than auto. It's
Right?
And like, you know, there are decisions to make, like, well, what classes do I bring into this fight? And that's kind of the equivalent of, well, am I going to have the Doomax? Am I going to have armor that absorbs or resists something? Do I need the Aegis shield or the fire shield? And those are decisions, and they do affect combat, but they're sort of beside the point.
yeah, that isn't like
Moreover, like having all the buffs and debuffs applied in the way that they are makes it so that I have no intuition about what they do and no way to develop an intuition about what they do. I had to like read the manual and find a list of icons and keep referring to it to see, you know, if ever one came about in a fight where we're like, wait, we haven't seen that icon in a while. What the hell is that?
yeah, and and there were a number of like the fact that the Saboteur Synergist actually would just apply them in order meant that certain moves, having them was a mistake.
Well, they there was AI learning that once you like figured out that a enemy was resistant or immune to a status effect, you would eventually, like, once you filled the bestiary on it, they would stop trying to cast that on them.
Yeah, but they never stopped casting Vigilance on yourself.
True.
Which-
Like, yeah, especially they did cast buffs wrong, where they would cast like Vigilance or Brave on yourself 4 or 5 times rather than casting each one in a row.
Well, also, like, you know a fight doesn't have status effects, then your Synergist is still going to spend the time making you immune to them. Because it just goes down the list.
My problem is, or what I'm trying to say is that my problem with this is structural in nature. I don't know how
That's
to
fair.
like tweak the numbers or effects of what Synergist is doing to make them like an interesting addition to your loadout, or like to give the player a means to develop the intuition about like how and when to apply things to generate an advantage, how to learn what monsters do, what you can do about the monsters to get an edge on them somehow, or if even such edges exist.
Okay, I mentioned that it's possible that FF10-2 is the like system of this that is maybe just more on point. But 12 also has a similar setup where you can
yes.
make
The Gambit system.
you make the active decision to set your characters up in such a way, and because you're the one making that choice, rather than it just being thrust upon you, it's more like it's still, you know, outside of the combat, but it's you setting that up.
I think I would like the Gambit system more if the way that you got more like Gambit logic items, I forget what they were called exactly, but like those nuggets of like conditionals
Right.
or whatever. If the way you got conditionals were more carefully measured out and like harder to intentionally do, like they just sort of give you access to everything after a point, or you,
Well,
like, get enough money to buy them all.
You have to buy, so that the way they're limited is you have to find the places where they are sold.
Right.
But no, I loved. They were not too limited. Gambits were fucking great. I loved them. I loved writing my own bot that would grind out levels infinitely for me. It was great.
That was available in a lot of different ways, and you could go and do it. You
I
could
think there
also,
was-
like, get hoisted by your own petard by like having one of your people stuck in a logic loop where they tried to steal things, or, like, or kept curing themselves when someone else was in more dire need of curing.
And that's a different sort of like fun with it, where it's like the like failure state was like now it's time to play debug on your like.
Yeah, we're like because you could always just turn it off. Like, assuming direct control.
Yeah. No,
Okay.
I mean it's hard to really talk about the Gambit system. That was a thing. But like, okay, if we're talking like buffs and debuffs in FF12, they had a couple that were really transformative and pretty unique. I mean, they had oil for
Yep.
one, which is weird, but it's part of the. Oil is part of Iblis, so you get oil. They had bubble, I think it was called, where you just get
Yep.
double hit points,
Just doubles your hit points.
and that was kind of cool. And they also had like reverse polarity, where damage would heal you and healing would damage you, and that was some wild shit because this got you into the super bosses, all of whom had like some specific oddity or quirk to them, where you would have to do you like do enough damage to get them into their phase, then they would stop taking damage from everything, couldn't have any debuffs applied, and then for one of them you had to like poison them, or another one you just had to like wait it out until they did a specific move.
And then they turn on the blockers, and then
Yeah.
I like
At
Final
the very
Fantasy 12 a
least-
lot.
At the very least, the Gambit system was a way to engage with your character's auto commands, right? And the only way that we had to do it in 13 was to give them a role, and that role does certain things, and combinations of roles are just like different people doing the prefab things. Essentially, the pre-gambited commands. They're all cooked into the thing.
yeah.
So that's frustrating from my perspective, because it reduces the entire game to just sort of watching the thing go, where I didn't ever have a part of building that up. And so, when we win, it's like, okay, it's over. When we lose, it's like, how did this happen?
Yeah, I mean, and there is that's sort of a different game at that point, where it's there's a realm of difference between like, I'm just gonna use like a battle bots as a descriptor here, because there's two different types of that I've seen, where a group builds like a little robot to battle another robot, and one type where like they have direct control of their robot, and another where they have to like write the script for the bot. And so those are two very, very different games, effectively, and lead to very different gameplay. So, and one.
I think there's value in all of them. Is maybe
But-
the point I was trying to get across.
Right. But also, like, when you're like looking or expecting one and getting the other is
Oh, certainly.
And then again, just because both are valuable doesn't mean that both are executed as well.
Oh, certainly. That's why I was calling the 13th series the house that Wrong built.
all right.
Yes, and Gilgamesh was in Final Fantasy 12. It's very true.
I always do get a little, I don't know what the right word for this is, like annoyed or perplexed whenever there's a video game that I play or have enough experience with from any source, and I can't immediately think what could possibly change about this to make it something that's good, right? Like, I always have stuff to talk about. I'm like, oh, how do we improve this? What does this really mean? How do we engage with this?
And it's just hard to find
Like
that.
with 13, I just draw a blank. It's just all this like, and there was at some point a kind of like positioning system to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for your August spells or area of effect. So you had, if monsters were too far apart, then they would not affect them heavily. Yeah.
So it's like it was like reintroducing randomness into the game
Right,
in this completely inorganic way.
because you didn't have direct ways of affecting that. You had like oddly indirect ways, like certain characters' third or fourth move would be like a backflip, so they would move that direction, you know, like something like that, where it's
Right.
I don't know if 13 had it, where you could set the paradigms to like either focus wide or focus narrow.
that's not a thing in 13. There's no control over what the names are, or like what they do other than just the flat, like this is the it's 2 Ravagers and a Commando, or you know, something like that.
I
Alright,
think-
well, I hate to
Alright.
leave you guys halfway through this lovely conversation, but I have to go.
All right.
Yeah,
Well, thank you
All
for
right,
hanging out.
Take care, Kaz. Just defeated my first boss with Oracle.
Hey, how's
Hey.
Oracle going?
It's not quite what I thought it was. I won, but I turned everyone into a toad by accident.
Oh no, that'll be good to remember because that'll be useful later on.
Yeah, that's a good.
My understanding is that this class has a lot of tools for putting negative status effects on your own guys.
Well, of course, that's how real oracles work. But yeah, I guess my thoughts on the 13th thing is if more battles were the kind of battles where you had to think about like how you interacted with the enemy through setting your paradigms, that'd be better. I really like the stagger system. Like that was like the grease that held it all together.
Edric, if it did exist, I played 50 hours of a game without knowing a system existed.
Just use whatever bits on it. I have mine engines is open. I guess I should open Zambo's up.
But yeah,
I don't have mine open up, so if there's any
alright.
talk there, be sure to let me know.
but there was like 1 or 2 fights in 13, specific fights, where I recall like glimpses of that mechanic working in a like interesting way, like where like the idea of like you set up your classes, you react to your opponent, they react to you, and then you have this little like dance going on where you kind of keep shifting back and forth, and like, but it only happened like twice at most. Like, I thought it like I thought when it was introduced, that was like when the game was like finally going to be like, yes, it the game realizes what it's doing, and now it's going to no, like the fight with Sid Reigns happens, and then after that the game forgets how to do that again, and it's like, oh.
Now the one fight in your LP that I really liked was against the turtle,
Okay, yes.
where he just knocked it over and cast death until that was it.
Yep.
That was a good fight.
That was. Thank you. That was a hell of a fight.
Sid Reigns is Sid Reigns Sarah Palin?
No, that's Jill Nabat. Sid
I had
Raines is
Nabat.
Sid Raines is this really bored, like, dude who, like, shows up at the beginning of the game and, like, is just sort of there like, hey, I'm Sid Raines. Hello, my name is Sid. Do you recognize it? And then, like, shows up about 20 hours later and you fight him.
And he's like the, it's like a wrestler thing.
Yeah. Yeah, rival battle, basically. Bone! Oh god. Yeah, Bone is just go to 1.
Big Bone.
At least the Bone Dragon has very little health. Like, compared to the other dragon in here.
Okay, long list of things to do to make the games better. Number 1,
Okay.
make what the characters say and do and how they interact with each other and the world mean anything. Have Vanille not just be a liar. Because whenever she says or does anything, I think she's lying.
It's really hard for me to say, you know, what I would change to make it a better game, because a lot of the problems I have with it seem to be very, like, intrinsic.
Yeah.
Right, and I think that was, you know, what
That was Kaz's problem.
was saying.
Yeah.
It was, like,
Like, there are a lot of parts of the game that I thought generally might have been good, but the thing that made them bad was beside the point almost.
I think you could, if I think one of the big simple changes you could do that would make most of the fights more entertaining is just change the rules for staggering monsters somewhat. Like where if monsters had like a secret condition to getting them to stagger, and like part of the puzzle was figuring out how to do it. Like these guys, you can't stagger them unless they're poisoned, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then
again,
like
the worst part is I'm pretty certain that exists in 13 for like 2 enemies.
yeah, exactly. We're like if like each individual monster had a stronger gimmick, then like going through the fight wasn't just like, okay, I'm doing Ravager until something staggers, then I switch to Triple Commando to kill them. Like stretch. I don't know. But so like, I think the systems there existed, and then it was just really stagnant level design and encounter design.
Well, you know, we're playing FF5 here. Like, a lot of what does make FF5 enjoyable to me is that a lot of fights do feel like that sort of puzzle, where, like I know that, like, boss fights in particular in this game have a lot of, like, puzzle elements to them.
Mm-hmm. Whereas the puzzle element in most of the 13 boss fights is solved by, okay, I have to figure out when to go into Triple Sentinel, or I have to know what debuffs they're going to use on me and, like, prepare for that. I don't have Shell yet, do I?
No.
Nope, sure don't.
Because Shell is high up on the...
It's 4th level magic.
Yep. I remember that because it's not available to Red.
Mm-hmm. So here's Liquid Flame. I almost considered going triple Berserker for this fight. Are we going to get our first cast of Rays? I think so.
Ooh.
I will increment the counter at the end of the fight. So here's 1 Raise. The things I'm keeping track of this run are number of Doom procs
Okay.
and number of times I cast Raise. Or a Rise. I'll count both.
This was a little bit back, but I have defeated my second boss with Oracle.
All right.
Nice.
The mechanic is dumb, but it does do a lot of damage,
Excellent.
which I am very happy for because I gave up
You gave up Summoner, yeah. At the end of the day, that'd get it done.
Yep.
Alright. I have finally exited this mountain. I am free from the curse of this mountain.
Okay, here comes raise number 2.
Where's a good place to level up, like, just basic-ass levels?
Basic, like, my favorite at the end of the game, where are you?
Yeah.
My favorite is in the cleft in the forest, if you have a dependable way of killing things. Because in the forest, in the cleft, there's the healing pot very close by.
Yeah, but the encounter rate's really high, so you're always fighting monsters.
Alright, that's a plan. I think I'll head there, then.
Okay, one white mage is out of MP because she cast Cure and Raise several times. I forgot that I had a resource that was expendable, because I spent the entire game just attacking. I think this is my 3rd raise.
Alright, I'm back. Alright, so... Cursed being... Oh, I can put my Dumaxes back on. I should do that. Dumaxes.
Yeah, this is weird. Suddenly, my maximum MP is this super important stat.
Strange.
Like, not my max as a, as a resource that runs out of, but
The actual number?
the actual number.
Huh. I'm unfamiliar with Oracle, but I did see a bit of chatter about how it works and involving, like, the MP value after something resolves being, like, a relevant number, and it's like, that is...
Yeah, when you use the command predict, there are 10 results. It depends on the one's value of your MP pool as you make the prediction.
Yeah, Skulloof can have Skull back. Yeah, it's a, what's the other... My mind keeps thinking of Luigi when that comes up. Because I think in Smash Bros, that's how you unlock. I think it's Luigi.
Something like that.
But you needed like a 2-digit in like in like a specific.
Yeah. That kind of thing.
Yeah, but looking at that, so.
Or even just something simple like, there's Liquid Flame. At the determining how many like fireworks or flags you get at the end of a Super Mario Brothers level, at the end digit of your timer.
What's really biting my ass, and this is kind of funny, is that the 2 spells Time Mage can cast outside a battle, Float and Teleport, cost 10 and 15. And they don't move my digit to the right place.
Sweet, thank you, Abyss Hunted. That is exactly what I'm thinking of. I'm glad that my memory is correct. Luigi in Melee is at the end of the Mushroom Kingdom stage in Adventure Mode on the specific end second, which is why I was thinking of like, looking at end seconds. That's clearly that means the name Luigi is in my head. How much money do I have? 36. All right.
Luigi.
All right. So I think at this point we're going to. I have to go up and feed the grass to friend. When I has to eat poison, and then I can go meet up with Zezat over on and fight Gilgamesh.
Well, Smash Ultimate's gimmick is it has everything from all the games, right?
Yeah.
They'll be able to do the Sunset Rubdown again.
Oh my god.
My favorite thing about Smash Ultimate is that Solid Snake is back, but they changed his emblem in the game from the fox to the exclamation point because maybe Kojima Productions isn't what they want you to think about anymore.
I'm really glad they got David Hayter back for that. That's. I want there to be codec calls for everybody.
I believe there are, but David Hayter and God, what is his name? The Colonel's voice actor.
I was gonna say Roy Campbell, but that's the name of the damn Colonel.
That's the name of the Colonel. I know this guy's name most of the time. Paul Eiding. He's not doing anything important either.
My brain process there was David Hayter, Cam Clark, Paul Eiding. That was where it went.
Well, he also I remember him because he also tells you about the Scroll of Iniphus.
15 Ridleys on the stack.
Cam Clark is Liquid Snake. Snake, you're so useless.
Yeah, so I'm thinking of just literal Metal Gear Solid 1.
Do you not know the name of Otacon's voice actor? Even though he's been in as many games as the rest of them.
Shit, I should know that. But it's not there. It's
because he's Ocelot. He's not Ocelot. He's Otacon. He's not important. You're not important enough, Otacon. Ale's gone.
Ale's gone. Alright, Lena ate poison and is fine.
Going to obtain this ribbon in case I get Dancer. Alicia Cuthbert is an actress. I know her face very well. I can't think of many film things she's been in, even though I know she's been in a lot. She was in a early 2000s rom-com. I think it was just called Girl Next Door. Where the plot of the movie was that a man fell in love with a woman, only she was a pornographer, and that was the crux of the dramatic thing of the film.
That's it. That's the movie.
That's all you need to be in a movie.
All right, so I think I know where I plan on doing my Jack Bauer's daughter. Okay,
How did Alicia Cuthbert come up, though? If it's Argents, yes.
That's a good question.
It's like, Maybe Ingrid just likes her as an actress. I'm sure she's charismatic.
Well, I'm sure there's a link. There's got to be a link. But yeah, I'm thinking my stopping point is going to be Reflect Ring Zone. I'm about to hit that point, and I feel like getting there and doing the long. Look, there's a lot of grinding that's going to be there, because I do want 4 Reflect Ring.
Okay, I don't think Otacon's voice actor was Alicia Cuthbert. You're going to have to give me more than that, Ingrid. Oh, Lena died. Oh, I forget. I've cast Raise 5 times now. I should add that to the board.
Oh, it's down south. Dang it. I was like, where the heck is my fleet? But it should be right around here, right? Where's barrier tower? Oh, no, wait, no, the fleet's not there. I have to go fly over Guido's island and have it sink first. Hold on. I was like, what am I doing wrong? But, like, then I remember we're trying to go see Guido, who's gonna...
Wait, Alicia Cuthbert came up because Kiefer Sutherland plays
Oh,
Snake.
yeah, okay, that's why Jack Bauer's daughter. Okay, yeah, because
Okay.
Kiefer Sutherland is
Is Snake in Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah, that's a bit stretchy.
No, but look, there's a logic there. There's always there, right?
That's the kind of logic I do when I'm very tired. Yeah, I haven't incremented the raise counter yet because I'm a Deembo,
Oh heck, I'm gonna.
and I'm
need
kind
to-
of in a tight situation right now.
I'm gonna have to take off these Dumaxes again because I can't have them on when I'm fighting Reflect Knights.
Very true.
That's a good way to die.
Please let me run away, Gigas. It'll take a long time to defeat you. If I'm back attacked.
Hmm. Are you closing in on job 3?
Yeah. As soon as I get, I'm in Exploding Castle Karnak right now.
Yeah, like Giga. That's where you gotta be if you're fighting Gigas.
Since beating Garula, it's only taken 40 or so minutes.
No, that's the power of the Berserker right there.
Yep.
Power of dealing damage. Although I might run out of time here
Hey, says that.
if things keep going shitty like this.
Alright, so yeah, we're gonna get to, the swordsman says that. Who fires lightnings. They call him a swordsman, but I think everything we see says that do is like lightning blasts.
He does that with
Yeah.
a sword. He's like, what's his name from Final Fantasy Tactics? The great guy.
Sid.
Sid.
Yeah.
Orlandu.
Yeah, or Lendu. Yes.
I think the secret there is that it's a lot easier to show
Right.
lightning than sword swipes on the little sprites.
Yeah, maybe his Mystic Swordsman says that. Yeah, in a lot of the like side games that contain a billion characters, Zezet exists and is a spellblade.
Okay, Mongosh acquired. Let's blow this popsicle sand.
All right, battle on the big bridge too.
I have 5 minutes to kill Iron Claw and also get Asuna. It's probably enough time. The Suna is on the right.
Yes. Gobbledygook. Goodbye, Gobbledygook. Alright, hello, Gilgamesh. Well, not yet. I gotta wait for this little scene to play out. My friend. I hit for some really good damage numbers in this fight.
Sorcerer attempts to confuse me, but we know the truth.
Hey, Enkidu.
Okay, you might not be able to confuse me, but you sure as shit can turn me into a frog. Like, that shit just works. Like, well, fuck, you got me. I'm a frog now. God damn it, no! As soon as on the left!
Oh shit, really?
Yes!
Rip.
Ah, that ninja scroll might come in handy, though.
Yeah.
Not when I'm doing a 750 run.
Oh god, rip! I forgot about that. Enkidu knows White Wind and Vampire. That's a good combination.
Yep,
Yep.
works together. It's fine. I have plenty of time to kill Iron Claw.
Absolutely is best version of Enkidu is the little rooster. Gilgamesh in 14 is really great.
You know what does everybody know what the worst Gilgamesh is? Because there's a correct answer.
Oh.
Final Fantasy IX.
Yes.
Very bad Gilgamesh. Just the worst
Yes.
Gilgamesh. He's a jerk. Not good at all. Nobody's friend.
Connected to a bad card game.
And there's the White Wind. God.
He gives you no treasure for doing all of his stuff. I mean, Gilgamesh in 15 is, like, not as bad because it's not as repugnant. Gilgamesh in 9, the only good thing about him is that he has, like, extra arms taped to him. Like, visually, he's... Oh, no, I just used heal stuff on Sergeant. Whatever.
See, the Final Fantasy VIII one had the extra arms too, right? Am I getting them mixed up?
I don't remember. Probably. Get him, Berserkers. You have a minute to do this thing.
Oh god damn it. I keep forgetting when I have the heal staff on or not.
Okay, that's Exploding Castle Karnak down. About an hour behind schedule.
But it is down.
But it is down. Oh. Berserker Truck can now use the Wind Job Black Mage.
There we go. Finally got the skull to show up on Enkidu, which is what I was like trying to get to happen. How many Gregs have Enkidus? Not many from memory. Again, 14 has multiple Enkidus in the sense that there's both the chicken Enkidu and the actual, well, not the actual Enkidu, but a like false representation of that Enkidu.
Okay. So, blamages and wimmages means that the game should not be an issue at all.
Ooh. Yeah, you have multiple midges?
Yep.
Hey, are you going for Forbidden again, or is this just...
This is Regrand Berserker Risk.
Alright.
Oh, FF12 had an Enkidu as well, yeah. Alright, this should be enough to knock out Gilgamesh here.
Okay, let's go buy some Aura spells.
Thank you. Goodbye.
I kind of hope I get another Berserker. White Mage, Black Mage, Berserker. That'd be pretty cool.
I'm told that Yojimbo has a rad boss fight. Yes, I can confirm that Yojimbo has a really rad boss fight.
And then a really dumb way of recruiting him as a summon.
Oh, well, sorry, Yojimbo has a rad boss fight in 14.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It's not like a full boss fight in the sense of like an 8-person fight. It's the end of a it's the end of a dungeon, but it's also a lot of fun. So
You should be able to pay him off.
you have to steal gold to make sure he doesn't get paid.
Okay, that's good. That's good enough.
So yeah, it's good. 14 has a lot of fun things going on in it. Alright, I gotta help you move the barrel. Barrel moved. Submarine acquired. Alright. So I'm going to enter the hole of getting reflect rings, and then that's gonna be the end for me, is getting those.
I think that would be about a good time for me to end too. I'll just keep going. When are you getting to reflect rings? Like now?
Well, I'm there, but I think I'm gonna like do it, and then once it's done.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm kind of at grinding myself a bit. Don't think I got the HP to keep going forward.
I feel you. Avoid getting crushed by a pillar, yeah. Be wary of pillar.
I'm heading on down to the library, and I can't tell if I'm under or over leveled now.
Library level's 15.
And I'm under leveled. I'm 11.
Okay, and that's high, but 15 is high.
I must have got a lot of levels early and then ran from a bunch of monsters. Which makes sense because of my life situation.
Oh my god.
I don't really think that's going to be a problem for you, though.
Not anymore, no. Now that
No.
I can do a bunch of damage. And the bosses here will be issueless.
Okay, let's actually equip the dang weapon. Well, a weapon, not the weapon I want, because I don't have the weapon I want on me at the moment, but we gotta fight Traveler first. Okay, I want to hit the save point. Use one of my tents. And now I need to unequip the sickles again. Because I can't have be having Now I think if I quick save in this room and load, the first fight is a single Reflectonite.
So, do you know, speaking of tents, do you know the main reason to go for a camping trip? There's two reasons to go for a camping trip at SeaWorld.
What are the reasons?
There's the two reasons. It's to be all in tents and porpoises.
Wah, 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 wah.
Oh boy.
You should sub to me for money. You could pay me
You-
money for making jokes like that.
You can. That's a legal thing to do.
Okay, I'll update it now because I'm about to cast Raise, and this is my 6th one.
You get a
So
really
I will
good.
I will now remember to do the thing.
I really want to have more than one emote on the 5. Like, I have a bunch of other emote ideas, and I only have the one at 5, so it's like, eh.
Thank you for the bits, for the jokes. We got jokes in this place.
Okay, maybe the sleep blade isn't good for this either. I just keep reflecting the sleep.
Well, this will go much easier after you get your first reflect ring, because then you can attack your own guys and bounce the sleep back to him.
Listen, the tangent of Kiefer Sutherland to Alicia Cuthbert is way more than my very lame pun. Because at least the things I did sound alike. Which and so that one doesn't work at all because Kiefer Sutherland and David Hayter don't sound anything alike. Either their name or the voice they do. Kept you waiting. Huh.
I know I can't hit Magnetite. I don't want to hit Magnetite.
Okay, I need to add another raise to the number. Up to 7 already.
Oof.
Liquid Flame kind of bodied me, but it didn't matter.
That's fair. Coming out of it strong.
I have the power and the might to do the fight. To party.
Yeah, so the first fight out of a quick load is a Reflectonite. Just a single Reflectonite, so this is the quickest way to get him going. I think the second fight is also Reflectonite, Magnetite Traveler.
Which is, I think it's more efficient just to do the first fight over and over and over again because it's faster, but it depends on your ability to kill Magnetite and Traveler, which I think Magnetite has a fair amount of physical evasion.
Yeah, so this might not be the best idea. Is level 12 bad level for books? No, like, that's probably fine. That'll depend heavily on your classes, of course.
Yeah.
But the big thing there is that, like, 10 and 15 are the killers.
That should be fine. There might be... The worst thing that can happen to me is getting moon fluted. Because I have the heal staff equipped. And a bunch of wizards in the back row. And my one character who actually does attack would not benefit from the moon flute whatsoever.
Ha! I got a Dream Harp drop, is that good?
Yeah, it's money.
I can use it, I guess.
Yeah, you can.
I have Freelancer.
And I'm not missing out on a lot of experience from not fighting the book monsters. I guess what I am missing out on is AP, which I actually need. So I'll try fighting. I'll fight this one book monster, which will take forever.
Ah, the full rebalance one. Yeah. Kind of want to try that out.
I want to see what it does to someone else before I leap into that hole. Man, I'm doing like 1,000 damage in World 1, and I'm not even level 15. I missed black mages.
The main idea of that mod is changing classes around a lot. Giving some classes that just don't have a lot of, like, things going on, things to do.
What rebalance mod is this?
It's like a mod for FF5. It's like an IPS patch.
Does it remove the quick save glitch?
No, it shouldn't touch any of that.
Because I know the sound mod does, or rather, the sound mod uses a version of the game which does not have it.
Oh.
The EU version of the game.
The only thing I think it does as far as, like, balance to take a class down is specifically it says in the little patch notes, it's like, lowered chemist base stats a bunch. And even in the patch note, it's like, but that's not gonna matter. Like, come on. It's chemist. Like. So, everything else is like adjustments like handing off, or like shifting around, abilities to different classes to give them a little bit more to do. Reminds me, there was a Dark Souls mod I wanted to play.
Yep, there's a Dark Souls. There's several Dark Souls rebalance mods, but...
Well, none of them are rebalance mods. The ones I'm thinking of right now, there's one that you can play as a skeleton. And that sounds fun.
Oh, I saw the one where you play as the Crystal
Lizard.
Yeah.
Yep. I believe Zuli is doing that to Dark Souls Remastered, though, which is... I would not want to do any of that kind of thing with a game that is... I don't know if the game is VAC secure or not. I'd have to look.
But the other one was a mod that was like, I think it was called like Scorched Contract or something like that. And it added a little like things after every boss fight that gave you more conditions. Like, and a lot of these were not told to me as to keep the surprise of what the conditions would be, so... But the idea wasn't intriguing enough, so... I have one reflect ring, by the way.
One... They have roughly a 3% chance to drop them.
Yeah, this takes a while. It's punctuated by a bunch of quick saving.
That always messed me up because it resets your memory cursor.
Ooh.
I think I will end on Dumax Island. And then get my Dumax and my AP that way.
That sounds good. There's also a chance that I might just get annoyed at doing this and just stop. So, we'll see.
Linking stuff in my chat. I'll click on a Dropbox link in my chat. It's the Final Fantasy V mod.
Yep.
Okay. You should also take that mod and then layer over it, if I can find the mod that replaces the battle theme with simple and clean.
Yeah. That sounds like a good improvement.
It really wasn't. It was really bad. I don't know if I still have it. That was a different installation of Windows, so I probably might not. Where was it?
Ha.
I don't need to play Kingdom Hearts 2. That game's too good, and I know enough about it already on my own. I would just like kind of have an okay time and make fun of a lot of the people who are watching my stream, which is probably not a good place to be, but whatever. I'm never playing any other Kingdom Hearts game, I think. I don't need that kind of shit in my life. You want me to play Fruit Ball? Is that what you want? Me to play Fruit Ball or Fake Fortune Street? Or a card game? I'm not playing Chain of Memories.
Hey, Gloof came to level. How about, we want to do,
We have a secret stream idea, yeah.
yeah, we have an idea. Coming after Fiesta, I guess.
Yeah, like either like probably like the week after next, probably.
Yeah, that's probably a good timing on it.
Because next week will probably be like the tail end of some people's fiestas.
Yeah, my Fiesta is not going as fast as as fast because I'm only doing it on stream and I'm only streaming like Fiesta like a couple days a week because I want to do like Cube.
I do want to do some more Cube. I watched Ryan and one of his friends stream some Cube last night, and
Oh yeah.
I think one of the end states of this version of the Vintage Cube is just drafting some kind of Sultai value deck.
So the deck we had.
Yeah, because like your deck, his deck, their first round opponent's deck, and I think their second round opponent's deck, all green, blue, black value.
That sort of makes sense to me, just based on like vintage card quality.
Yeah, that's also just kind of where Legacy's at, where like people are playing like 3-color Leovold or 4-color Leovold.
Can we play Leovold? Ooh, my goodness.
We could have been playing Leovold in that deck, and it would have been fucking
oh my
sweet.
god, like
And they would not have mattered because stacks would not have targeted.
no, it wouldn't have, but it would have been good against stacks because it means top doesn't freaking do anything.
Yeah, it means top does not work.
Like you tap. I specifically remember somebody against Leovold like tapping their top to try to draw and like being sad.
Somebody on that stream did 0 a Jace with a Leovold in play, which is how you know they have never played Legacy or watched anyone play Legacy. Like, okay, I'll draw up to 3. Okay, you can't draw any cards, but I will put these 2 back.
I'm gonna put these 2 back. I didn't need them. That's the like. Have you ever seen the Notion Thief your Jace activation or Notion Thief your Brainstorm?
Yeah, I've seen that. Like you draw the 3 cards and then they top a deck too.
Yeah, that is the rudest of all
I've
possible
also-
maneuvers.
I've also seen like, is it Eidolon Rhetoric? I've seen that vialed in response.
Oh, Spirit of the Labyrinth?
Yeah, Spirit of the Labyrinth. Because Eidolon Rhetoric is just 1 spell a turn,
Yeah,
but Spirit of the Labyrinth is you can draw only 1 card a turn.
Yeah.
Just like vial that in response to a Jace or something.
Yep. I do know that there are like obviously strong red decks.
Yeah, they always lurk around.
We had a last pick goblin guide go around. I mean,
It's like the red decks prey on fair decks and exist to die to unfair decks.
they try to go under the unfair ones, you know. They try to, like, you know, against the stacks deck, the idea would be...
Like, you don't need your lands after you play them anyways. Like, you just need them to generate a mana once, and you're good.
Right. At my upkeep, I float red and bolt you.
It's like, then I play a creature with haste or something.
There's generally, like, 2 red players in a cube. One of them, like, obviously there's only one, like, generally only one mono red player, or red X player, like a, you know, red base. But red also plays a pretty decent support role to a number of colors. Like, red-blue and red-green. I mean, Gruul is something we've played a number of times.
And of course there's Storm,
Right.
which plays many red cards.
Yeah.
You no longer have to awkwardly splash green because they just put Mana Flare in.
Yeah, which is nice because you don't have to heartbeat.
Like, you can still you could still get Heartbeat and still like splash for like Abrupt Decay or Regrowth, but
So white.
yeah, white. Yeah, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say white and vintage cube is always gonna be in an odd place just because, like, quality of white always has problems compared to the other colors when you go long.
Yeah, like the kind of cards you get from becoming vintage and white are like land tax,
Yeah.
which nobody is ever excited to play.
Your most powerful cards in white singularly, honestly, Stoneforge is near the top of the list in my mind.
Like Stoneforge Paths or Swords. It's like your cheap like Council's Judgment, White Grip Tide, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then obviously Balance as your like only other card that you get for playing vintage, which can be quite strong, but one of the problems with it is that in Vintage Cube, there's a very hefty amount of artifacts mana sources. Both, like, obvious ones, Moxins, but the 10 Signets are around, plus things like Thran Dynamo, Grim Monolith, Basalt Monolith. So balance on the balance against a unknown opponent, like, isn't certain to do anything. Obviously, it can be a Wrath. So...
Okay, I'm grinding Doom Axes now.
Yep. What's your target number?
1.
Hmm. Oh, I really like that attack can crit. I'm using the wind slash
Ooh, Wind Slash.
on Freelancer Ferris. Like, the sword can crit, and the sword has a activation, you know.
That
Yes.
might be one of my favorite weapons, like, on the whole.
It's real good.
Just because the Wind Slash is such a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, you can pretend you're your favorite everybody's favorite anime. It's Inuyasha.
Everybody's favorite.
It's everybody's favorite. Everyone's favorite 700-part series. It's Inuyasha. For you.
Unending, unyielding.
More realistically, I want to do max, but I also want to get Black 3 on some people so I can start leveling up White Mage more effectively.
Ooh, back attack. That's a bit of an annoyance. Just a bit, though.
The AP here isn't very good, but I will need levels.
You can always go back and, like, there's other places for AP, obviously.
Yeah, Nutkin are probably the best one. Skull Eater is a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am required by the fact that I'm keeping track of Doom procs that I am required to get a Doomax. I mean, eventually I can get the Assassin's Dagger, which would fulfill the role, but I do want a Doomax.
You have a Berserker, like... Come on. But yeah, whenever you wanna... If you wanna do Cube on your side, let me know.
And I do have one sitting around, and I've been playing a lot more Magic, so I'm probably not as stupid at it as I was years ago when I just played on Moto like once every 3 months. Like, I've been playing a lot of Standard, which is a format that I have not touched in at least 10 years.
Right? Yes, Blazing Blade is indeed where we are.
Yeah, there's a Skull Dagger. It's called Assassin's Dagger. It has only a 25% chance of having a skull pop out rather than a 33% chance. Yeah, I played Theros. I played a lot of Theros, but that was like 6 years ago.
God. It's kind of ridiculous how long ago all that stuff was at this point.
Yeah.
Thank you, Blazing Blade. Glad you enjoyed that one.
That was a really good cube.
Well, I did the wrong thing with Oracle.
Ooh.
Oh no.
I am alive.
Okay.
That is a... It is a use teleport and get out of the void situation, though.
That bad, huh?
Wiped everyone but Ferris.
Ugh.
Thinking the Oracle skills are not what I want to be using in random battles.
Well, thanks for going through our struggles with us, Ingrid.
Yeah.
I miss Triple Theros.
Glad you've been enjoying them. It's strange to think how long this has been going on.
Yeah, there were some of the RTR drafts are a little hard to read, card-wise, but time makes wizards of us all. If you just know what the cards do, you don't have to read them.
Right.
It's not like you were reading them at the time. Who reads cards?
Well, like it's odd too, because it's like I know that it's one of those things where it's just like, you know, incremental improvements to the stream.
Oh yeah, like I don't know how anybody watched me stream in 2015 or before. The streams were just so bad looking, and now I could stream a game at glorious 60 frames per second at 4.
Oh, hey, you're crazy, Bob. It's not because they are dangerous, but because we want to murder them. I want to fight just this Reflect Knight, and when I reset the encounter, it is always just this Reflect Knight, because I'm looking to get a playset of this Reflect Ring. And quick saving sets them to... I also watched Google video.
Same.
Man, when was Google Video?
2008?
I think it finally lost support in 2010. Like it just flat went down in 2010. Because that was around the time Google bought YouTube.
Alright, that makes sense then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blazing Blade, I'm watching both. I guess we're both watching both, but Gnomes is also the other one that's active that we're responding to.
Yep. Zambo, are you streaming right now?
I am still.
Yep.
Is Zambo Ace also here, also streaming?
Yep.
You're watching on the Cabin Awesome page. You can see us all.
Yep. Pretty sure I had Gather open for some of the older streams. Yeah. Again, like, I don't think, like, any of those, I think it's, like, probably, like, 15 and back on the archive just aren't readable.
Now, that was the Wild West, you know?
Yeah. I remember doing Triple Shadowmoor back then.
Yep, shit, very good format. It's the second most optimal format for enjoyment of like any, and I mean including things like Modern, Legacy, Vintage, Standard, Singleton, Commander, Brawl, and then you have number 2, Shadowmoor. Even especially like I think the 1 pack of Eventide even like adds enough. It doesn't distract. It detracts from your deck very much. And then number 2 is Rise of the Eldrazi. No, that's number 1. Number 2 is Shadowmoor.
Good old Rise. Oh my goodness, football. Yeah.
Yeah, the football where like one of the cards you got for entering that event was the hawk.
Yeah, a seagull.
Mm-hmm. That means you can date it because that was when the Seahawks were in the Super Bowl. I don't know if they've been there since.
I think past that year, yes. But also, it's still dateable.
There's also the Ravens, though, isn't it? I know they've been since.
Well, that one was specifically the Seahawks, and I forget who they were playing that year.
Yeah, I think they were playing the Ravens, or was it I don't remember. I'm not a football person usually.
Yeah, football.
Is there a main chat folks are using? No. We tried, and then since that fell apart, we just started keeping most of the chats open.
Yeah, it's always hard too when it's like, okay, there is a main chat, and then like if that person stops, then it gets awkward, and it's like, okay,
The moment I realized it was futile was I was putting the message of what chat to use in the stream title, which you cannot see on the multi-Twitch page. So
yeah, there's no.
Oh, there's Black level 2. No Doom Axes yet, right?
Yeah, I'm still on that 1 Reflect Ring. Reflect Rings have kind of always been the bane of mine. I'm very good at getting daggers. That's just a thing. But Reflect Rings, not so much.
And then TK Cat used Live Streamer.
Oh yeah, if you're using like live streamer or probably on mobile, I bet you probably can't see that either. If you're on mobile, you can't control that, you know. Yeah,
I had to break out Live Streamer yesterday. This Twitch broke when for AGDQ or SGDQ, just the video was black and the chat had nothing in it. I thought it was broken, but when I booted it up through Live Streamer, it just worked. So like, okay, fine.
Second lap, Chaos 750 was a Wizards. Got Dancer, 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 White Mage.
Everybody polka. That's another thing we'll have to do.
I need to get that actually working on Windows 10 in a not really, really garbage way. When I did that speedrun stream and it like had a lot of problems with it like loading, I was really unhappy with that.
Yeah, it might have to be just a virtual machine.
Yeah. I think that's what I need to do for it is a type of VM. Because I was really happy with the stream, but really unhappy with the, like, you know, constantly having to rebuild the board from, like, scratch.
probably negatively affected your time.
Probably.
I can't say for certain,
Very
but
likely.
but very, very likely.
Well, look, not optimal. Go to Goodwill, buy a 20-year-old computer, and then stream from there. Yeah, that's probably the easiest fix, right? Like,
Yeah, Windows 95, pretty terrible. Although
Hey.
it was a very important operating system. It was one of the first operating systems that had what would become a recognizable user environment.
yep.
Like 3.0 and before still looked kind of like old.
Yeah, 3.0 was what I remember using as a small child, and it is very much not what like a Windows environment looks like.
Whereas 95 still basically
Basically?
kind of looks like what Windows looks like now. Kind of. You have a start button, you've got a desktop with icons. You've got things refusing to work. That's important.
2 things I found about football. All right. It's kind of, it is nice that I have Freelancer for rods.
Yeah, everybody's mics have gotten better. My mic is better worse than my old one. I think I've blown it out. I've blown this microphone out. I probably should just get a new one.
Yeah. Also said weird. Who's that with Sly? Yeah. So the secret of my earliest streams was that they were extremely ad hoc in the sense that like I definitely didn't have the equipment to like do them.
Yeah, just kind of.
And so I think for the first a good chunk of the first streams I did, I was using an Xbox Live headset. Which sounds like just the worst. I still have it.
Still have it. This is the backup. The ultra backup.
Yeah, it is the mega backup. Hey, Red Eye.
We're getting nostalgic here.
Yeah, we're talking about old streams. Well, both myself and Gnome are farming.
Grinding.
And
I think Zambo is also grinding.
I am also grinding.
Yep. So we're just talking about all sorts of odds and ends. Speaking of old streams, what's up?
Axes. Do I find an axe? Not found an axe. Do I want to go get a better place for AP than this to get black level 2?
No, I do not, Red Eye. Oh god, yeah, ancient stream services are dying. that's a hard question, Abyssanted.
There's a vape site, the vapor site, that seems to be mostly for middle-aged people who are conspiracy theorists. I'll probably be what I use.
I guess
I'll fit right in.
Yeah, on vape site.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I remember those Hearthstone ones early. They were a lot of fun.
Sly9 does know a lot about card games, it's true. Board games in general. If you can think of a board game, he's probably played it.
We've been, oh man, we played a lot of, we played 2 new ones over the weekend that were pretty fun. Oh, right, I saved, not quick saved. That's fine. We played Spirit Island and we played Isle of Skye. Those were...
those sound like they could be things.
Yeah.
But they were fun?
Yeah. Spirit Island is a cooperative game where you play as you each play as a spirit. So like maybe a thunder spirit or a river spirit or a rock or something like that, and you're fighting off like invaders on the island, like all these different like invaders and explorers, and you're just trying to get them the heck off the island. Isle of Skye is a game where each of you are playing as like a clan in Scotland, I think. I think like McLennan and McLeod and like that sort of clan.
Oh yeah, I've.
Mhm.
And you each are you each like get you basically pick tiles out of a bag, all of you, and then choose a number of tiles to keep, and then bid on like you can like bid on your tiles, and people can pay you to steal your tiles, and then you sort of like build your little area out of the tiles.
Will this be based off a old PC game?
I was going to say, when you said the name was Isle of Skye, I first thought of, oh, the Skittles game.
Oh, that's not quite the one I was
Dark,
thinking
yeah.
of, but you know that's fine.
Don't remember first saw it. Oh, that was probably Abyss Hunted. That's probably the one that had like Blood Baron going on, if I'm remembering my streams right.
And the Blood Baby Episcopa.
Yeah, well, we fought against an opponent who played nothing until turn 5 and then played a Blood Baron, and then I just edicted them and they conceded with 7 cards in hand. I specifically remember that game.
The Valor Flash.
Because Medibot, they were there on that one, so.
I'm leaving and going to go get level 3 black and then coming back. Which means it is time for the death of Mini Nutkin. Yeah, I wasn't on streams back then.
Oh, I was following that one still. Okay.
I first injected myself into these kinds of streams sometime. I don't remember what date it was. It must have been like 2011. It might have been 2011 though. I was in Tennessee, in Nashville, in a hotel room, and I volunteered myself for Star Droid.
I think, yeah, I was there as well for that. I want to say it was like me, you, and Logical.
Uh-huh. And that is, as we say, history. And then I've since then I've enriched the lives of all of my friends
Yes, absolutely.
by telling them things they absolutely would not know if not for me. It's very, very true. And now, instead of playing with them an insane custom tabletop system based off the ramblings of someone else, they instead play an insane custom tabletop game inspired by the ramblings of me.
Oh, look, the wheel turns.
And grind us all to dust. Yes, that is how the Great Wheel of Time
In
works.
4 years, I'll have the custom system.
What systems will you bastardize for yours? What's your pet? I know your pet system was 4E before we played.
Honestly,
before...
I think 13th Age is up there as far as something I would absolutely steal from wholesale.
I stole a fair bit from 13th Age. That's why the very simplified weapon dice rules.
Yeah. Any bets on party level? Party level right now is 26 all.
Bastardize my system, yes.
That's a way.
I do need to bastardize my own system some more. Because, I know Kavanaugh's been running into problems with his character that I tried my very hardest to make a situation where he could do what he wanted to do, because what he wanted to do would not have existed in the system to begin with. Like mostly ranged character, and he's still running into issues. Although he's also been forgetting his own things, which that's just a normal part of tabletop.
Right.
Forgetting your modifiers on your character. That stuff's always hard to catch.
Real, yeah, you're crazy, Pa. Magnetite here is really helping me out on this back attack. Magnet just pulls y'all to the front row. So. Yeah, I have very little familiarity with third.
It's got a lot good going for it. It's got a lot of bad going for it. I don't know how much of the second I was able to extirpate from it, but...
Looked at Paranoia. I've heard about Paranoia a number of times, but I've not ever played it.
That's not White Wolf, is it? I remember it being like White Wolf adjacent.
Don't know. I've played a couple like White Wolf systems. In the sense of like D10 systems, basically.
Yeah. Like Vampire can be hellish to play.
Yeah, we played Mage once, and
Mage can be very... I remember the story about Mage. You can tell it, though.
Oh, God. Just we had things occur in Mage that were just, based on the DM and party, not the system itself, that made us all, like, where like, we walk up to a door, kind of walk into an open apartment building, and apparently the act of walking into an open apartment building had caused a secret dice roll that immediately called the cops. So 2 minutes later, we're still in this open apartment building, having done nothing, really, because we're still looking for the apartment we're trying to get into, and the cops show up and just immediately open fire. And it's like, oh god, what? And so our first session ended with 2 of our characters dead.
The wizard cast Rune of Summon Cops in his spell book.
Right? Just, it sucks when you trip they had the rune set on the front door. It's like, summon police. And that's Mage.
Hey, I'm not a great DM. I have a lot of shortcomings as DM, but the most important part is that everybody is trying to have fun. You go into it with that mindset.
I believe in you.
Oh, I know I have things. I know I'm good at some stuff. It's just not. I'm very bad at going off book.
I don't think you're that bad at going off book. I think it feels. Oh, Reflecting 3. I think it feels kind of bad because it's all of a sudden like, oh what? Oh god, like you're off script. Not even off script in the sense that like everything you say is scripted, but you're off plan.
Yep.
And that can feel very... Oh dear.
I do alright, though.
Yeah.
I'm burning cats alive.
So I'm up to 3 reflect rings.
A few more fights and I'll have black level 3, and that'll make Doom access much easier. When I have 3 people who can cast Aura spells, that'll make it easier.
Yeah. Why do things never go off plan? It is by never having a plan. Wait, why did I quick save 2 times? Wait, that doesn't do anything. Using tense rather than napping the sub. Yeah, it's mostly to delineate time. That gives me a point that I know that I need to stop. Is if I ever zero out on that.
I know I'm definitely a DM that's a product of a generation that played a lot of video games, especially a lot of RPGs,
Mm-hmm.
because that warps your brain.
Well, like it makes like it. I have not ever had a DM of your style. Not at all. And I guess by that I mean to say, for one, you're the first DM I've ever had who knows what a trap is.
Yeah, traps I love traps.
Like,
that one trap was bad, but I do use traps.
Right, but that wasn't the only. You're like other DMs I've had. Definitely like are aware of them and like maybe use them, but nowhere near to the extent.
You need to have like an entire room, there was a room that was just a giant place in the woods that was just full of traps.
Yeah, it was just traps. The whole thing was traps. But you also are probably the most, by far, the DM I've played with who puts the most like setup into things.
I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't. Yeah. Like that's a good thing and a bad thing, because it means if things do go off book, I don't know what I'm doing, but that just, it's fine. You just do what you can.
Yep.
Okay, I have black levels. Everybody can cast RS
Oh god,
spells
it
now.
looked like I just clipped into the wall there. Can you give an example of a gnome trap? There's a room we went into in the woods. We were trapped in the woods because the woods had turned into the Lost Woods.
Couldn't leave.
We couldn't leave because we couldn't figure out how the hell to get out. So the plan was to turn off the woods. Just look, we just need to go turn them off, and we end up in this room with like a gremlin. Like, I say room, but like it's
like a glade.
It's a glade, an open field, and the entire encounter, as it was us trying to catch this gremlin, and the entire floor of the glade being like infinite, like probably about a dozen trapped like floors. And we're chasing this thing around, trying to like catch it, so it's like we don't have time to check, and we're just stepping on every single pit trap, lightning trap, bear trap, different bear trap where the trap is a bear that shows up and hits you and then leaves, that sort of thing.
It's mostly like spiked holes with spikes in them, and just like stuff.
Right.
The gremlin itself wasn't the threat, because the gremlin was just annoying you. It was like little range attacks that couldn't really hurt you.
Yep.
And that was that encounter.
Yeah. My gut tells me that if I'd, like, just from, again, I guess from my experience with Star Troid, that Kaz would be a DM that does more setup than you, but that's my gut.
My feeling, when we actually do sometime play Star Troid, he's looking into tabletop sim, by the way. Okay. That's a way to do that. It would be the role-playing part of it would be the absolute smallest part of it, and the rest of it would be like a StarCraft map. Because I also know that he made a lot of StarCraft maps.
Mm-hmm. Alright, I'm at 4 reflect rings.
Okay, I'm still not with that. I'm still without bereft of Doomax, unless one's right here. No, okay.
Well, that just means I'm going to go up the... Do I want Bloodsword?
How does Bloodsword interact with Dance?
If you can equip it, I mean, if I had the option, I'd use it just because I never get the opportunity to use it.
Right, like, I don't think I've ever... Well, okay, the problem is to get Bloodsword, I need to beat up on a dragon, right? Like,
you need to beat up on a dragon, either 2 yellow dragons or a red dragon.
Right.
I'd expect the single red dragon to be the easier fight.
Kinda. Red dragon has...
Doomable.
Yeah, maybe neither. I think they're heavy.
I thought yellow was instant kill.
Yellow might be. I think yellow is the easier encounter. So
Red
if
is undead, so if you try and insta-kill that,
Yeah, that's not
that's
gonna
not
work.
going to work.
Star Trade never happened because there was never a virtual tabletop solution to set up Kaz wanted.
Yeah, definitely aware of the drawbacks on it, but I think with dance I might sidestep the drawbacks. Let's see if we can attain it.
Because Sword Dance never misses. Which is, yeah. And having Dance equipped, you're like, if you have Mastered Dancer, then your magic stat on your Dance, on your Freelancer wouldn't be that bad.
Okay, so I'm fighting Red Dragon alone. If I can get some... Oh, I don't want a Jitterbug there. That's donating health. But I'm still willing to use Jitterbug because of the chance of Sword Dance.
I think I still have my character sheet for Kubrick Kazan.
Yeah, I think my character sheet still exists, but it's on a different hard drive at this point.
I just made a thing on Google Drive. I remember one fun thing about it was Kaz made it so that the part of making your character sheet was like you were making a resume for being a mercenary.
Yeah.
And I found the best way to do it was just to use an online resume tool to just make a resume for that. And I got spam emails of people offering my tabletop character like like, are you interested in this job? We noticed you have these skills. I'm like, okay.
Oh, okay. You have 5 years experience in
exploding.
Yeah. In like over.
Wait, is that it? Is that really that G-Volt? Did you find it, or is that just a joke link? I'm gonna click on it anyways. Resume.com/Kubrick Kazan. You spelled Kazan right, so I'm gonna assume it's right. I'm Kubrick Kazan. I've been doing this sort of work for a long time, and I'm eager to be working again. I have a lot of experience in concussive structural alteration that I have acquired in over 6 years of active duty.
Oh my goodness, that's beautiful.
I've gained the knowledge on how to not become structurally altered in bad ways, and how to obtain completion on goals that you, my employer, have been given to me for the exchange of funds. My extensive experience working on both large and small cooperative missions, as well as my can-do attitude, will enable me to bring a full range of skills to the position you want to give me.
I'm very happy that just exists.
It's still on there, resume.com.
Alright. God, I am very high level. Like, I think I'm 27.
Pardon me for a moment.
Which is like an end game level for you, I know. And hell, a lot of parties I've had, that's an end game level, you know?
I got my Dumax, I can stop.
Okay. Then maybe this is a good place to call it. I can climb this tower another time.
Well, it had lots of buzzwords in it, so like the robots that like scanned it and saw that like 6 years experience can like this kind of attitude, this many whatever tags, engineering expertise,
SEO.
like that kind of thing. Yeah, like the SEO on it. Okay, Galoof, you no longer need the Mongosh. Get a Dumax.
Yeah, I think my plan is I'm gonna climb the tower, get to the top of this tower, and then call it for the day.
I think I'm done.
Because I'm on like floor 6, you know, like I might as well get to the save point at the top, right?
Yeah. I've just been going. The first part of the stream was only like an hour and 10 minutes or something, but that's still like 5 hours I've been going.
Yeah, I know that feeling.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
By which I mean, I might hang out for a while until I figure out where I'm going.
That's good. Yeah, I just don't think I have that character sheet around anymore. Well, no, it might be on my other hard drive, my older one. Possibly.
Oh, I had mine on drive, and I found it like going over shit for our drive.
Right. God, oh, I'm sad that I realized that my something like 80 pages of notes for my Ravnica campaign setting weren't on drive. So like I did a whole bunch of setup for that setting when I did like my initial campaign for it, and then like they were all done in like actual ass Word, so like it's a file 3 hard drives ago rather than level tricker.
You'd be tricked by the level.
Oh, well, I'm tricked by the heal staff. That's a pretty normal one to be tricked by, though.
Well, I guess Super Metroid is soon.
Yeah, that's the other thing I want to, catch. Because it's 100% map completion %. But mostly it's Oats and Goats doing it, which is the more, the most interesting part of it. Means that it's going to be a quality run.
All right.
Yeah, like the notes I had for it had like, for Ravnica as a setting had all sorts of unique stuff for like you were affiliated with it. If you were affiliated with a guild, you had unique abilities and like sort of like a contacts and things that came with that. And if you weren't, that also had its own unique take. Like because Ravnica is a hell of a really good setting for a D&D style campaign. There's a lot there. It's like very freeform, but with a structure. So, alright, is this the? Oh, my God, we gotta listen to the Whisperweed.
That is one more thing I do as a DM. Is that a lot of DMs do not describe the violence that their players are doing. I learned that from Paul Verhoeven. He hates movies where like people get shot, they just kind of fall over, and like, oh, there's some blood, but they're dead. Like that's why in RoboCop, when someone gets shot, they explode.
Right, the dude at the beginning of RoboCop is gone.
Yeah, when Murphy dies,
Holy
like when
hell.
Murphy gets
shit.
blown up. Yeah, that's horrible violence. Here's what you're doing. You need to remind your players that they are killing for money, essentially. Anyways, on that bombshell, I will say, I'm going to go get some food later, idiots.
Alright.
You're my friends. Goodbye.
All right, take care.
Alright, I have hit the top of the tower, which means that I am also gonna be calling it here. 27 on everybody except for Lena, which is pretty good.
All right, I am about one screen away from a save point myself.
So, alright. Thank you all for joining. Hope you enjoyed Fiesta. Thanks, Zambo. Glad you were having some Fiesta time here.
Absolutely. Take care. Good night.
Yep. Night, everybody.